Hello, everybody, and good evening. We are very excited today to be presenting you with Blackpool branches. We are buzzing to have members of the Just Trains team on with us as well. And we have our driver tonight is Steve, who I believe, Steve, this might be your first live stream. Is that correct? Right. Well, not for a long time then. Not for a long time. You've had a bit of a hiatus and you're back doing some driving for us, and we're really excited to have you on with us too. But we have on camera tonight, we have two members of the Just Train team. I'll give them a little bit of a chance to introduce themselves, and then we'll go into previewing the route in its entirety for you tonight. So first of all, we have Tom with us tonight. Hi, Tom.
Hello, good evening, how are we doing?
Good, thank you very much. Do you want to give a little quick introduction to yourself to people who might not know you?
I'm Tom. So I am one of the route environment artists for Just Trains. So jobs I do, basically putting the scenery down for you guys to enjoy and drive through. I've also actually had a hand in the scenarios for this project. I've been with Just Trains since 2019, but I'm pretty well known in the community, especially with the Train Sim classic side of things before coming over to TSW.
Awesome. And we're also joined by Benedict. Hello, Benedict.
Hey, I'm Benedict, and I'm a 3D artist at Just Trains. Been there since 2021, and I've also made freeware content. On this route, I've mainly been working on 3D models like stations like Blackpool North, as well as the timetable.
We've got a pretty good spread tonight then. I think you were saying beforehand that we've only really not got track laying and is it signalling that we've not covered tonight. But hopefully, if there are any questions about any of that kind of stuff, we can either find it out later for you, or we can hopefully be able to answer it live for you as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I just get a quick check with everybody? Please let us know in the chat how our audio levels are, just so that we can make sure that you're able to hear us, and when we get into the gameplay side of things, that you can hear the gameplay as well. So just so that you can let Steve know, who is doing our hosting tonight. Okay, all right. Let's do some little. I know everyone's really excited to get into the route and talk a little bit about it. It is obviously launching on the 14th of November, which is next Tuesday. We are incredibly excited to be able to show it to you tonight. But we also have a couple of other little bits and pieces that you might be interested in. We've just gone live for an Xbox free play weekend on Train Sim World 4 for Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate users. So if you are a member of that and you want to try Train Sim World 4 for the first time, you've not got it already, please feel free to give it a go tonight. And there's also a trial for PS Plus players as well. You get a couple of hours for free if you are interested. If you're a PS Plus subscriber for Train Sim World 4 too. So give it a go if you're on those platforms, and we will gladly hear your feedback. So in terms of, I would say, audio, it sounds like I'm drowning everybody else out, which is wonderful. I'll just move my mic a little bit away from my mouth so that you can hear a little bit better. Steve, if we're able to make you not muted, and Tom a little bit louder, I think that would be perfect, please. Thank you. Wonderful. Just let us know if you can hear Steve now before we get going. Not the shredded admin. Yeah, I know it's a little bit of admin. Sorry. Right. So just a quick other bit of admin before we get started. Just in terms of timings for Tuesday, if you're a console player, you'll be able to play from 10 a.m. GMT, and for PC players, it is 4 p.m. on PC for PC players. So set your timers, set your alarms. There is time to do it. And if you were on Steam, you can also wish list too if you like what you see tonight. So before we get into the actual showcasing of the route, just wanted to ask kind of the initial question that I ask all kind of third-party developers when they come in to Train Sim World for the first time. How did you find making the route, and why did you decide to make this particular route? I'll go to Tom first on that one.
Okay. Finding the route in terms of creation, the initial start of it, I think, was it was rather daunting. I mean, we've never built a route in Train Sim World, as everyone knows, and learning the Unreal Editor was it was like starting from day one again. So not having a clue what to do with the tools, basically just going in there and going in sort of like blind and learning for ourselves. With at the end of the day though as well, we've had fantastic help and support with DTG, so they've always found answers for us if we needed them. But yeah, I think the first sort of 4 to 5 months, I think it was quite slow getting our footing. But yeah, once we'd sort of got to that point, we were pretty much on the way with it. Really, we managed to get a decent sort of like ground and knowing where things were straight in there going on with it. But I think choosing the route, we had a few options at first, and there's various different things we had planned out, and this wasn't the first one that we had planned, and we got to the stage where thinking we threw a few ideas out, and this one was one that came up, I think, from Benedict at first, not even from me. And even I live local to the area, but as soon as the idea came up, I was like, yeah, it's got to be to represent like the area I'm from in Trains World. It's quite a big thing. It's quite close to me at heart, really. So for what
Did
we
you
put
say
together, I'm quite
you
impressed.
lived very close to one of the Was it one of the stations?
Yeah. So the very northern part of the route, which is the Naze branch. I mean, the route it's shut down now. It closed in I think 1999 it closed. So the track's still there. The track and the old platform's still there, and it's literally about 5 minutes from where I live. So it's about as close as you can get in terms of a railway to me in the game. So yeah, it's great to see it in.
Cool. And Benedict, what kind of, because as Tom alluded to, perhaps you're the creative genius who came up with the route. Why this particular route?
So we ended up going brainstorming loads of ideas. We had about a short list of about 10, and then we, chose the negatives and positives. And I think in the end, we just decided to go with this because of the variety of services you can end up doing, as well as us in the end deciding to make a pacer.
Mm. Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
Okay. So, should we get into it then? I think we've kept people on tenterhooks for long enough.
Yeah.
People are hating the admin, as you might understand, but they're enjoying kind of getting the context from the Just Trains team as well, which I think is important before we get into kind of the detail of the route. So, Steve, are we able to switch and turn off the face cams, please, and get into game? It's time.
There we go. Should hopefully be saying that.
Lovely stuff. Okay, so should we get on to Blackpool branches and see kind of, as we can see here, we have 254 services, 5 scenarios, obviously the training side of things, and obviously you can use free roam with this route too. Can we go into the timetable, please, Steve? So, Tom, do you want to give us a quick summary of the trains included in the route and the rolling stock that goes with them?
Yeah, so you get Class 142 Pacer, which is a unit that I've seen requested many times for Trains in World, so made sense for us to have that one. So we've got that in 3 liveries. It comes with the BR Blue Provincial livery. It also comes then with the orange livery, which is also it's GMPTE. We have also got the chocolate and cream, also known as Skipper livery. So on top of that, you also get the Class 08 Shunter. So this isn't the first time it's appeared in Trains in World. This is, I think, the 3rd time it has been iterated. There's some differences with this one though. It has had some bits and pieces done to it, so we'll be able to cover that as we go along. And we have got a scenario which will be covered in a bit, so we can show you all the bits and pieces as well. But this comes with 2 liveries. The blue, both blue, but there is some differences. So you've got, as you can see there, you've got blue crew. This is the livery that crew works outshopped as a standard in the period. And then we've also got, you can see there, 08744, which is Preston's pilot, which is basically the same blue as you'd see on the crew one, but it's been outshot with a name and a little emblem on the sides of the bodywork, which is a Lancashire Rose, and it's also named as Wigan TMD. So it was a Wigan loco, but it was based at Preston itself, so you'll see that one doing its thing throughout the course of the day in the timetable. And finally,
oh, sorry, keep going, Tom. I was just
sorry,
just about to interrupt, but you were mid-flow. Sorry.
I can hold on. I was about to go to the 47, but if you want to interject,
No.
there,
Go talk about the 47.
not
I
a
was going to
problem.
talk about layers. So
Okay, yeah, the last loco that comes in the route is the Class 47. And again, this isn't the first time we've seen the Class 47, but however, This 47 comes with a high intensity lamp, which again is something that's been asked for by a lot of people. So this was another thing that we thought it had to be done, and it fits in again with the era just right. So not only that, but you actually get some extra liveries. Now you'll see Northern Trans Pennine ones in there anyway. That does appear. We'll cover that in the layering. But you will get high blue. So it's a obviously the blue livery with the high lamp. You've also got the high intercity executive livery. So that comes with the intercity naming on the side. And then also you've got the large logo, which is the big arrows logo on the side. And then on top of that, you get the Mark 1s and the Mark 2s and the TEA tankers. You can't see them in there, almost because you can't drive from them, of course, but we will be seeing them throughout the course of the evening.
Nice, and obviously you can see there are some other locos available as well. Now these are layered pieces of content, so you can see the Class 31 there, which you get from the Class 31 add-on, Class 20 from Class 20 add-on. You've got the 8F from Spirit of Steam. You've got the Class 45 from Northern Trans Pennine. And the 101 you get from Tees Valley as well. There's also West Cornwall local bits and pieces as well, which we'll talk about a little bit later on too, because they're quite exciting. So yeah, we've done that's kind of bits and pieces. And when we go into the actual service patterns, Steve, I'm going to go to Benedict, given obviously he looks after the timetable for the routes. So do you want to give us a little bit of a detail on what the timetable looks like?
So you've got a real variety of services in it. I mean, the bulk of the services are either services with the pacer or services with with locomotives, either 47 and others. So you've got multiple services which you can do. So with the pacer, you've got the Blackpool South Ormskirk runs. You've also then got the Blackpool Norths. And either you've got Blackpool North to Leeds, which is a faster run, and then the Blackpool North to Manchester Victoria or Liverpool Lime Street, which calls at most all stations. We've also got some freight, both layered and non-layered. So we've got tankers going to Naze. You've also got a tip train going into Kirkham Tip. And then you've got a lot of just general extras as well, because we've strived to make this timetable so every time you drive it, no matter when you drive it per se, there should be an extra. So you've certain times of the month you've got rail tour, certain months you've got rail tours, certain months you've got summer specials, certain months you've got the services for the the Blackpool Illuminations. So we've got a real mix, and no matter when you decide to drive, you'll see something different, which is great. And I like that we've managed to implement that well.
Awesome. Okay. And then we'll touch on scenarios, because kind of in terms of the live stream today, we'll be doing a service which will take us pretty much most of the way along the route. Then we'll be doing a scenario, and then we'll be doing a little bit of sort of tidy up stuff at the end. So we'll kick off with the service. We'll come back to scenarios in a bit. But yeah, I think what we are going to be doing today to kick off with is the 2F13 service from Blackpool South to Ormskirk. And we'll be going from, I guess, north to south.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is. I think that we're on the south end of Blackpool, but we are still north of the route. Yeah.
It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it?
It is.
Cool. Okay. So one of the first things that we wanted to showcase tonight, before we kind of get into the actual service, was there's an interesting kind of facet to the pacer, in that we have added in sort of guard activation panels. So we wanted to be able to showcase that just quickly before we go into the actual service. So again, Tom, do you want to give us a quick summary on kind of how that's been implemented and what players can do?
Yeah. So with the guard panel, you can interact with the doors and such. Now you can't be a conductor like we've seen on the 3-2-3 scenarios. Not to say this couldn't be done as a scenario in the future. You never know. So watch that space. We might look into that maybe one day. But you can go and have a little play with the doors. You can open them up. You can press the guard buzzer. You do actually interact with the scenarios on this as well. So they are used. They're not ignored. But what you do is, starting on the on foot, you might find that your train's locked up and it's not started, which you will find in one of the scenarios. You'll then go to the doors on the panel on the outside, which Steve is currently demonstrating. So you'll open the hatch, and then you'll have to open the doors with the red button in the middle, and then you'll go into the train. Once you've locked the hatch back up, you'll have to then go into the panel above the door by unlocking the actual interlock. There's a little key that you have to pop into the where Steve's looking at the back panel behind the cab. There's a little lock that you put in there. Opening that allows you then to open the hatch, so then you can go and close the doors, and then you can give the driver a buzz. If you were, to be fair, if you was actually doing this as just as a running around as a free roam, and you was just wanted to be a passenger of the train, you could still open these panels up, and you could give the driver a guard buzz if you wanted to do so. They won't give you a buzz back, but it gives you a sense of feeling that you're actually doing something, and you're still having some interaction with the train.
Nice. Expertly demoed by Steve.
Yeah, very good. It's like he's done this before.
There's a little in joke because Steve did some driver training on the Pacers.
Yeah, I only learned this yesterday. It was yesterday I learned this. I never even knew this. So it was quite an insight. So it's nice to see actually learn how it feels. Someone that's actually used the train in real as a driver.
So we're departing from Blackpool south, and we are heading towards Squires Gate. Do you want to? We kind of obviously we didn't get a chance to really see sort of Blackpool South station. I can do a little bit sort of flyover to some of the stations a little bit later on. But particularly this part of the route is perhaps one of the most well known in terms of things like landmarks and sort of key sort of things that players from particularly the UK will recognise. So there we go. There is the first of them. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Pleasure Beach?
Yeah. So wow, the Pleasure Beach, which it literally is, other than the Blackpool Tower, one of the big icons of Blackpool. If you're a holidaymaker and tourist, most likely will use the Pleasure Beach for a day out. As you can see, we've gone to great detail to put many of the rides in there. We haven't got everything. You simply couldn't go and do everything, but we've made it possible so that you'll have the iconic skyline with all the coasters, even with a roller coaster going about its business, ferrying some passengers. You might have seen them just going past. Well, second to the tower, you'll see it from the miles on the coast. You'll see the roller coasters. If you're coming to Blackpool south from Preston, as you're coming around the last corners, you'll be greeted by the view of them roller coaster and skyline. So yeah, it felt right to have as much as we could get in there, in my opinion. Also, just press G on your keyboard, Steve.
We will shortly be arriving at Squires Gate.
There we go.
we're approaching the station, so it felt like it was needed, to be honest.
Do you want to give just again? Obviously, that's an interesting feature. Do you want to give us just for those people who perhaps aren't necessarily aware of that being a feature beforehand? What is that Steve's just done?
That is the announcements that have been implemented into the Pacer. So they're not automatic. You actually have to activate them, and you can do that either if you're on the PC, you can actually press G, or obviously if you're a console or PC user, you can do so by clicking the phone on the left hand side. So you'll see on the left hand side by the window there's a handset, which I think if you click the handset itself, it will play the announcement for the next station. It has a couple of different variations on that as well, so it's just another little dimension to it, really, pronouncing the stations out and where you're heading to next. It also, I believe, am I right, Benedict? It works on West Cornwall local at the moment.
Yeah, because the train is drivable on West Cornwall local as well if you own it. The announcements will also work on that route.
Awesome. And Benedict, that's it. It substitutes into West Cornwall.
Yeah, it replaces a 101, not 101, a 150 if you want to drive that.
which is kind of what I was alluding to when we were talking about the West Cornwall local stuff later. Obviously, we've touched on that now. If you do own West Cornwall local, you'll be able to sub in the 142 or instead of the 150 if you so choose. So a few people have noticed already a couple of things that we were going to kind of touch on as the stream carried on. One of which was the suspension. Now, obviously, this is a bouncy train. It is famed for being a bouncy train, and you'll notice that this is replicated in what you're seeing right now. This is kind of what I would say is the next stage of the suspension project that we were talking to you about with relation to train support before. This is, I guess, if you look at the 323, what's currently on the 323 in the training centre, that is very much like an alpha of what it could look like. The Just Trains team have taken spent a lot of time working with the Dovetail team to try and implement the suspension physics into the Pacer. It is kind of the next stage of that. We're in a position where because of this has air suspension and it's got bogies on it, we're able to kind of replicate this within the Pacer as it stands. So this is kind of the next stage of it, really. I think we talked about that briefly in the roadmap on Tuesday. But Benedict, can you tell us a little bit about the suspension? If I've posed that question to the wrong person, please feel free to speak up, Tom, as well. But in terms of the suspension, how easy or difficult was it to implement?
So we had someone else implement all of the train stuff related to it. That was someone called Ed Fisk, who we've used for a lot of the functionality of the Pacer as well as the functionality of the other locomotives, included. Ed was the one who did quite a bit with stuff. Like, he was the one who decided to add announcements. We didn't even ask for it, he just did it, which was really nice. And then we had Tom record some announcements.
Next thing is
Yeah. That was
It was really good when he added it. He said, "Oh, press G next time you play." And we did. Like, wait, what? but yeah, no. It did take a bit of getting, back and fro for suspension, as I remember, for him. But we eventually got to somewhere where we were really quite happy with it. You'll notice eventually when we go onto the more welded rail as opposed to joint track, it's a lot smoother ride. It's not perfect, but you really do notice the difference, which is really nice.
A few people mentioning the chat, the game audio is a little bit loud, or we're a little bit quiet, so just bear with us. We'll be sort of going through some of the audio bits and pieces as we go through. It's the first time that Steve's hosted one of these streams for a little while, and obviously he's driving at the same time, so we'll just try and make sure we get that sorted for you. But we are looking at the chat, don't worry, we're not ignoring you. We will be answering questions from the chat as well as we go through where possible. We just want to try and make sure we get the big things out of the way first, and then we'll get into some more specific stuff later. Cool. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was audio. And I wanted to talk about that quite early on because there are a few different things that you'll be noticing with audio in relation to the rest of the stream. There's a variety of different engines that you'll be able to use depending on which livery of the Pacer that you're using. And this one, I believe, and somebody can correct me if I've got this wrong, is the Cummins engine. There's some nodding heads.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's
You're all right,
yeah.
Good.
I can give you a bit of extra on that. So yeah,
Please do.
So currently what Steve's driving is let's get this one right. So this is the Cummins LTA 10-R engine. So this was the engine that everyone will most know as these ran from. They were getting these engines put in from 1993 to 1996, and then they lasted all the way through to the end of the temporary career. They were meant to be a temporary stopgap, these units, but they lasted well until 2020 when they were retired. So yeah, these are the ones that everyone will know more than the other two that come with the unit. The other two, so out of the three, you'll get the early engine. So the original when these units were shopped with are the Leyland TL11 diesel engine, which came with an RRE5 gearbox, also known as the self-changing gearbox. These came in between 1985 and 1988. They didn't obviously last very long, as you can see there. These were then updated, but they kept the same engine, but they added in the Voith hydraulic T211R gearbox. This I believe was for better performance. I think more reliability. So they came into place between 1988 and 1991. So those are the three you get. As we are on the Cummins LTA 10-R on this run.
Yeah, just to interject a little bit, because I didn't know someone saying it in stream. So all three liveries have all three engine types.
That's my
So
bad. Sorry.
no matter but in the timetable, the only one which will spawn is the original TL11s. But if you want to drive another one in the service mode screen, you can drive wherever you want, in terms of the engine and livery option.
Steve, can we just press G again, please?
You will shortly be arriving at
A little sticky.
Fairhaven.
Okay. So a few people are asking for that in the chat. It is a manual thing, so you do need to operate it yourself. It's not automatic. Question related to the engine types and the from Dion asking you how will the engine types work with livery designer? Will I be able to use a custom livery on Cummins variant, or is it set to one particular type?
So livery designer is available on all three sounds. So it's not like it won't be a case of if you make a livery on one, it will transfer over to the others. But you can make, a livery for the newest sounds or even the older ones if you want. But I have a feeling most people will go for the newer sounds and try and recreate certain liveries which they remember.
Yeah. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to seeing what people put together for the livery editor. Really am.
It's going to be exciting.
Oh, definitely.
A few people are asking. There's someone asked how many stations there were on the route. I've just done a quick little bit of mental arithmetic. I think it's about 18.
Oh, you're very close. 19 highly detailed stations come with this route.
Highly detailed as well.
I'm just
yes,
reading the website we've got. I've got that open. Just for a bit
my
of
mental maths
QA.
is failing me after a long day, unfortunately.
And just so people know, because we'll just say it now, because I did notice a question about it, and we were on about sounds. So the Cummins sounds are from Armstrong Powerhouse, as well as all the switch sounds and that kind of stuff. The flange and the other two engine variants are from a hodgepodge of, multiple sound recordings which the person who scripted it had.
Yeah. I was gonna say I've got all the bits and pieces now. We should actually do feed in later on, so when we come back to that, I can give a bit more of a detailed one on that as well.
A couple of requests, Steve, for us to see the map. So maybe when we stop at the next station, we can take a quick look at the route map, so that we can see some of the intricate detail. Cabin Pay. They ask questions every single time. I can never work out how to pronounce their name. Cabapay, sorry. Is there a PC or Xbox controller button for the announcements? Obviously G on the keyboard. Will it be on a controller?
I'm unsure. That would have to be one. I can see if I could get that from the person who did it.
We'll wait with beta.
But if not, you can always press the phone and it will play the announcement. So you're not missing out if there isn't a keybind. But I will double check for you.
Cool. Request to see the suspension from the outside. Well, yeah, that would be good, Steve, if you're a little bit of the way away from the station. You see there you've got kind of the vertical movement as well. Nigel said, looking at Google Earth, the scenery detail is very accurate. Well, that's good. That is very good. How much? Yeah, again, in terms of creating this particular one, given that it's set back in the 80s, how did you get the source material to be able to make it?
Oh God.
A mixture of things. I mean, a lot of areas haven't massively changed as such. Some stuff has, some stuff hasn't. A lot of the stuff is still there, even if it's disused. So, for example, St Anna Station was the big one, which was 2 stations back, which is the really fallen to pieces, dilapidated platforms. The platforms are still there, but the buildings are gone. So at least we had some form of reference to work on how long the platform should have been. Everything else, for stuff like that, we had to rely heavily on sources such as Flickr. So Flickr has got a wealth of photographs that fantastic people of many moons ago gone out and taken and uploaded, and they have massively been a huge help to our asset developers. And then as well to us putting the scenery down to make sure we get the right level of like detail clutter and stuff like that as well. Cab rides, we've managed to find some old cab rides as well on YouTube. We've purchased cab rides as well, so we've had a good mixture of bits and pieces like that. So there's been a lot of stuff out there. Some things were a lot more trickier than others, but we've managed to. I think we've managed to get the right feel of what the area should have looked like back in the '86 period.
Yeah, I think Squires Gate was the worst to get information for in the end, because the station is entirely changed compared to what it's like now.
Yeah.
And we generally find bits in between, either older, so steam era, or modern.
Yeah.
And
you never
it didn't
right,
really take a while for us to, piece together little bits of from each photograph to work out exactly how it was.
It's amazing. I mean, when we were doing things like the Spirit of Steam content and all the kind of the source material that we were able to use there, it's almost like a patchwork of different things, isn't it? You kind of get different sources that provide you with different levels of detail, and you almost have to like knot them all together just so that you can sort of come up with something like the end product like this.
Yeah, you might find like there's a picture and then another picture, but there's nothing in between to suggest that that might have changed here or there. You sort of sometimes making a bit of a judgment guess, but it is hard when you're going in these older areas. I mean, for Spirit of Steam, it must have been an absolute mammoth to try and picture all that together.
Yeah, it was, but we won't talk about that one today. We're talking about Blackpool branches, obviously. So, a couple of requests. Steve, can we hear the horn, please? There we go. And when we stop at the next station, can we do a notch 3 departure, please? That's in the chat.
I did see a question regarding Moss Side, which is the next station. So the level crossing there, in today's world, the driver would actually get off the train and push a little plunger, which activates the barriers. In our period of the route, this wasn't actually there, so you don't actually activate the crossing yourself. That's all automatically done by the game itself. Level crossing is a bit different as well, which you'll see when we get there.
Yeah, it's one with no barriers, but the cars do react to that, and they still do stop, which is great.
Yeah, not too far from us. I'm just crossing over, sort of leaving the Foul Coast bit, if you will. So where we're curving in now, we are actually leaving where the estuary is to the right. So we're now going, sort of actually now we're going south, but we're now curving in to go north. So we'll go. I think it's so we come south down, and then you sort of skirt to go east around the bottom of the estuary, and then you're now going to go back north, and then we get to Kirkham, we then go east again. We're going down and around sort of like. I'm waving my arms around like everyone can see, but no one can see what I'm drawing. Yeah,
and I don't want to interrupt you, Tom, too much, but you can see the bounce here. There is some serious bounce going on the pacer.
Wait till we go towards Ormskirk.
The passengers right now.
In the Ormskirk line, it's great for it.
It's even more. Yeah, we had to. We managed to find some videos on YouTube. A passenger of a pacer going to Ormskirk took, and it showed quite an extent of the bounce. So we were quite close to the gangway. You can just see the gangway flapping up and down, banging around. It's quite scary. Those that have been on a pacer and experienced it will know. It's quite an experience.
Next time we go bouncy, Steve, are we able to see the bounce from the outside, please? And there are a couple of requests to put on 200% cab sway and all that kind of stuff. I think we might. We might have to put a motion sickness warning on the stream if we do that. Will Braddock asks how many horn sets are included?
Just the one.
Yeah, just the one.
Cool. Yeah, a few people are saying please don't go 200%. You can experience that one for yourself. We'll give you the opportunity to try that one yourself.
You see level crossing just at the end there, so you can see the it's not no barriers, and you can see some differences with the actual wigwags they call them as well, and some different signage that we've had done for them as well, which is sort of like for that crossing barrier itself. Managed to find some pictures of what it used to look like.
Okay. Cool. Steve, can we do a notch 3 departure, please, leaving this one? And then when we get to the next station, if we could do a little interior, little run around whilst we're loading the passengers, that would be awesome, please.
Yep, no problem.
John McGlade's asked, does the destination change on the front of the train on its own, or do you have to change it?
You have to change it yourself, but the AI do show destination boards.
Cool. Amaze Taste has asked, how much will this cost? It is £29.99 or $39.99 or €39.99, depending on where you are in the world. Those are the three big currencies that we use. But if you're elsewhere in the world, there's some kind of conversion that you'll have to make.
Steve's done very, very well. He's nice and early.
There we go, nice and quiet for the notch 3 start. One for you, Benedict. DJ Snap Attack asked, are any of the Pacer timetable services in multiple unit formation?
So there are some 4-car formations, yes. The interesting thing is, though, when we were looking at the timetable and stuff, it seemed to be, at least in the timetable for 86, that it was only 4-car to Blackpool. They then decoupled and ran as 2 sets out.
Okay. Sounds good. I mean, I think what we're hearing is that there's a lot of variety here.
Yeah,
there's a lot of variety of services, a lot of variety of things that you're going to see on the route as well. We haven't seen most of the traffic yet, but there will be other stuff that we can see.
Yeah,
Since mentioned
That
hero
really
stuff.
shows the bounce well there. Look at it. I love it.
We're heading toward Kirk in a minute, so it was all about traffic. So we're actually going to be leaving the single line section very shortly. We'll be joining up with the line coming from Blackpool North. So this is where the junction, Kirkham North junction is. So there's some fast lines there as well, where if you come to the stop at Kirkham, sometimes on opportunity in the timetable you might actually have something overtake you, or coming past you going to Blackpool. You can be held for them services because those obviously deemed as the fast service. So you never know what is going to happen when you get to Kirkham. You might get a straight through run, you might not. It's, you can go either way.
Obviously this uses sort of semaphore signalling. I know we don't have a member of the team that sort of is involved in the signalling, but do you just want to give are you able to give a quick sort of summary on what players can expect from that perspective?
So you've got a bit of a mixture of both colour light and semaphore. The colour light's somewhere around the Preston area, but you know, pretty much between. Well, it's not that far off leaving Preston. Do you get the semaphores pretty much all the way to Blackpool North, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, the semaphores come into play around Kirkham area. So Kirkham to Blackpool North is mainly semaphore, bar a couple of colour repeaters that you'll see along the way. But yeah, for the most part, it's all semaphore. Blackpool South Line, there's no signals on the South Line apart from the one that we'll see shortly when we approach to Kirkham, which basically protects that line. One train in, one train out. There's no passing loops. Going through Preston is all colour light, and then when you go onto the Ormskirk branch, there is a couple of semaphores down there as well. There's a couple of semaphores in the picture. A colour aspect to colour as well, I think, if I remember correctly. There is a good mixture.
Oliver Fry says, speaking of signalling, what happens to tokens at Midge Hall and Rufford?
So in this era, it was actually only Midge Hall which had the token, if I recall correctly. But we have it simulated, so you stop at the signal box at Midge Hall in the service mode. You know, you just stop there for a couple of seconds. You've got a guy standing there, and you know, then you drive away. It's just a nice way of doing it, having it so you have to force be stopped there to do the token exchange.
Some really nice comments in the chat so far. Monty Burns, Wakey, Kobe's Hub says the route scenery is built beautifully. So that's a really lovely comment. I've seen many nice things so far in the chat. I won't read them all out, be it for ages. but
I'm keeping an eye on it as it scrolls
Good.
up very fast.
Good.
No, thank
good.
you, thank you. Yeah, this is Kirkham North Junction, so you've got the signal box on the left, which you can see there, which is quite one of the largest signal boxes on the route. There is some signal boxes with interiors, which you will see in a bit as well. One of them being on the next scenario, so that is Blackpool North 2. You also do get an interior at Solwick, and you do also get one for a disused signal box at St Anne's. You'll be able to have a little wander around and have a nosy, watch trains go by.
And that,
so
that answers that person's question about whether Fox's biscuits stores that he just passed on the left. We've renamed it Cats, but you know.
Cat's biscuits.
do I? When we saw the. I've done a video of like the collectibles. Is that related to the collectibles?
No, that's not. No, that's just could use boxes.
Right.
No,
fine.
the collectibles. There is one of the collectibles, which is the gingerbread man. Which I think at Preston we're going to have a bit of a wander around, so we'll be able to find one. But yeah, that is one of them. And if you just see here now, there is some traffic passing.
Nice. Let's do a little wander of the.
Yeah, you might see some collectibles there actually on the wander around. But yeah, there is 5 collectibles on the route to find. Those are ranging from a variety of things, from gingerbread. So gingerbread is actually famous. It's well known from Ormskirk, believe it or not. I had no idea about this until Cal told us. I thought it was taking the mick at first, and you know, it's famous for it. So yeah, gingerbread. Look for the gingerbread. You've also got some broken signs at the end of the platform that need repairing. So they are passengers must not cross this point, I think they say. You've got some golf clubs. So why golf clubs, you may ask? Well, on the Blackpool South Line, you will find a number of golf courses, and also the Royal Open is also held at Lytham, which you go past. So that's where the golf bags come from. We've got sandcastles. We have to build some sandcastles. You'll find them somewhere nearby a station, not on the platform. We thought not having sandcastles on the platform to cut them, but in the vicinity of a platform, maybe just off the platform, you might find them. And then finally, route maps. There's always the route map is there. We haven't forgotten out on the route maps.
Good old route map. And
Got a route map.
so we, as Dovetail, we would normally put a donkey on each of the routes. I don't know if Just Trains have done that as well, but we do sometimes see other third-party developers put their own stamps on the route. Is there anything that players can expect that is a little bit Easter eggy that you might not necessarily notice or we'd want to show tonight?
Well, I know that I've added a couple of minor Easter eggs, which are more in-jokes between me and my friends. But the cash point at some of the stations like Blackpool North and Preston, because I had to model a cash machine, it has lobby electronics on it. Now, I'm not going to go into the whole in-jokes of it, but I've done that. You've had there's a few adverts with us in as well, isn't it, Tom?
There is, yeah. You might find us knocking around on some adverts. Go and have a look at the Go and have a look at the moving roller coaster. You might find some Just Trains developers having a good day out at the pleasure beach, having a ride on the roller coaster.
Oh, I entirely forgot about that.
Yeah, we're out having a day out on the roller coaster, marching models all.
Oh, that's so fun! I like that. And I mean, I've heard that there are also some pretty terrified screams on there as well.
Yes, Ed managed to put some audio to the roller coaster, so you can actually hear people screaming around. You'll also hear seagulls in the air as well, like squawking. We've managed to get some seagulls in there as well, so it's authentic to Blackpool. You'll hear them along the coast sort of areas. There is other things hiding and stuff. You will find little Easter eggs hiding. There's all sorts. Never remember where they all are.
I think you'll get into a point where you'll be able to see the big difference between joint track and welded rail, because we're just about to go off of a jointed track now, aren't we, Tom?
Yes, I believe so. Should stable out a bit. It does actually look like it's sort of not so bouncy now, it's sort of just a gradual sort of sway.
Oh, that's interesting.
So the suspension, it reacts to the track joints, and I believe does it react as well to the point work?
Yeah, it reacts to point work as well, yeah.
So obviously when you're going over like jointed track, that's when the suspension starts mounting up. Obviously with the Ormskirk branch, it's continuously jointed. It's forever bouncing on every single. I think it's 60 foot lengths, I think, on the Ormskirk branch. So it's very constant. It's just forever bouncing. Obviously the track joints as you go along. It bobs away.
That's really it. I mean, you can see the difference, can't you? What we were seeing maybe
definitely.
a couple of minutes ago. So
Yeah, it's just a constant, just a gradual sweat, sort of little nod and a little sway at the minute. It's not so much as that.
Yeah,
there's. Sorry, Benedict, you go.
We managed to get where jointed track locations were as of 1986 when the route was roughly based.
Yes.
So we managed to source them, and so we've done them where and as and where it was jointed, which really helps out too. I love Saturn jointed track myself. It's great. It's always nice having a look into that.
Just a little fun fact: the station just gone past there as well. So that was Solwick. 3 trains stopped there in the day. So if you like wandering around, having a ride on the train, and you happen to find yourself jumping off at Solwick, just be aware that you might be waiting there for a rather long time for a train coming back. It's 2 in one direction, and I think 2 going to from Blackpool, and then 1 going back towards Blackpool. Basically, it's to coincide with the Springfield BNFL nuclear works on the right side, basically taking the workers to and from work.
I also played around with the passenger density for that station, so you only get passengers around the time trains come. Because I know it's an irk for some people on certain routes where stations aren't called out as much, and you've got passengers waiting there all day long. And so I ended up having to make a custom curve for that, so then you only had passengers when there's actually trains there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I was going to say something, I can't remember what it was. I've got so sort of lost. I'm just trying to listen to you, Benedict, and all the stories about the passenger curves. It strikes me as the kind of place that someone like Jeff Marshall would feature in a least visited stations kind of video.
Yeah, definitely. You may well have been there.
It's the least used in Lancashire, isn't it?
I think it's got to be one of the least used. I've been on the platform once to take a photo of a Class 37 flying through down the Beltor many years ago before the route was upgraded basically. So these days it's over and wide down there, so it was sort of one of the last sort of traditional Beltors before that came in. You don't get nothing there. It's a very quiet place. I've never really ever seen anyone waiting for a train there. I've never been there when the place shuts down for people to go home, so I don't even know if it actually does get busy.
No idea at all. Have you requested for now that we've got Seagull Sounds? Obviously, we need to have seagulls nicking people's chips as a diorama or something.
We haven't got anything as such as that. No.
We do have a lovely diorama though. Yeah. I love what we've done with the diorama, but you'll have to find out what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to show you everything tonight.
Really apt though. Really makes sense.
Yeah, we don't want to give that away. So you'll have to work to it and find out what that is.
Yes. I was going to say what we'll do is we'll take just for everybody's benefit, we'll be taking a little wander around Preston station as well when we stop in Preston. Sorry, Benedict, you were going to say something. Tom, you were going to say something.
I'm going to let Benedict. Benedict, you want to say something?
I was going to say we ended up adding the road which was under construction during the era on the left hand side there. It's
Great, Michael. I was about to say the same thing. So yeah, that is Tom Benson Way. Someone did just mention it in the comments on the left. So yeah, that was in construction during this era of the route. So we've got some new vehicles actually were created for the route. So we've got some steamrollers and some tipper wagons as well, dropping off that hardcore for the ground and stuff like that. So there's a bit of a scene going on there as well. Just coming up with Maudlands Viaduct now into Preston itself. So I'm going to join the West Coast Main Line in a second. Someone did ask where the wires. Someone did ask where the wires kick in, and it's literally any second now. So we're joining to the busy hustle bustle of Preston.
And we've added AWS for about the 5-6 signals you'll end up using it on, because as soon as you go then off on the other side towards Ormskirk again, you lose AWS.
You do, yeah. So
That's
this
the
is
level of
file.
detail that we want, folks. Even if you're ever going to use it for 6 signals, AWS is there.
It is there for those that like pressing Q or whatever button is on it. Well, I don't even know what button it is on the Xbox.
Pressing Q.
Whatever the equivalent button is on the console. But yeah, this is File Junction, so we are now alongside with the West Coast Main Line. Got a couple of units on the right side there, just outside the power signal box as well. So you'll see a few bits and pieces waiting outside there. There's also other yards around the Preston area. So you've got Ladywell sidings. This was actually quite a challenge to find out what it looked like because it's not there anymore. It got remodeled about a year or two after this route was set, so you can't go onto Google Overlay and have a look what it looked like. You had to go and then find the pictures. Luckily there was a good amount on there, so we managed to get what that looked like. But you'll find all sorts of various locos stabled in there in the day, and not just stabled there, they will actually come in and out of the yard and do what they need to do in the day. That you might find that something might have come off a service, and then it'll go into the sidings and sit in there for maybe an hour or two and then come back out later on and go do something else. So there's always something going on at the station. It's full of activity. It really is. What time are we on it? Oh, it's got nearly 3 minutes of runaround time here.
And I
That-
wouldn't be
that- that
surprised
most
if
of
you'll
it.
leave later as well.
Oh, definitely. You always end up leaving later here once you had a runaround. So much to have a look at.
It's always
Can-
a hive activity at Preston, even at night.
Can Steve find all 5 collectibles?
Oh, that is a challenge, Steve.
All 5 different ones.
You got 3. Oh no, we've got four
You've
and a
got
half
even longer.
minutes.
Look at that. Excellent.
Oh, you've already collected that one.
Oh no.
Oh, that's one. There is another map on the station, to be fair. So, do we count this one? Do we be mean?
I think we count it because he would have got it anyway.
Yeah, true. So these are
The-
the little office there and the little waiting area.
Yeah, the station's been. I mean, as you can see, the modelling is fantastic on it. It looks brilliant, and I guess again, it's one of those sort of challenging things to make it feel like it's part of. It's 1986, isn't it? It's set in?
Yeah. The colour
big-
scheme, one of the big things that changed on this one.
It
as
got
well.
painted red literally the year after, didn't it?
Yeah. So it's quite a dull drab colour scheme in our era, and then it changed to red beams and stuff like that. But the station itself is an absolute hats off to Callum for this one. I think it was about 3 months he spent building this station, something like that. This is the biggest model that he's ever built under JT.
Nice.
And
Well done.
I know he was pulling his hair out over it and trying to get everything all detail in there. It looked absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm just going to mention something because people have just picked up on it. They did hear a guard's whistle. We have implemented that on the Mark 1 BG. So when a train departs, it blows a whistle. And also the AI trains blow their horn as well after the whistle's been received.
Not only, I mean, a couple of locos already did it. So the Class 40 already blew its horn, and the 08. We've got a new whistle, however we call it, on the Class 47. So the Class 47 now blows its horn when it's leaving, and it's not just like one type of variation. There's a few different combinations of different horns that you'll hear. It'll do all
Including an
sorts.
amazing one.
Yeah, there is an Easter egg on that. I'm not going to say what it is, but if we hear it, then we hear it. If not, wait until you hear it in the game because it's all real enthusiasts will know what it is. They hear it. It's fantastic.
So
It's
we've
like a
got-
1 in 70 chance.
Hello. We have got the gingerbread man. And you get to
He
eat it as
waves.
well. Oh, that's
You do.
good.
You do, and he waves at you as well.
Yeah, a little bit terrifying. The gingerbread man. I'm kind of glad we ate it.
Oh, and
Very
there's a
Moorish.
nameplate on the 47 just on the left there. Was that Commonwealth Spirit?
Look at that, 555. It's everywhere, that loco.
It is.
That
It
is
keeps
the-
turning up,
the
doesn't it?
That is the in joke with 47555. That it is literally the loco. You'll be everywhere. There's one that follows everyone everywhere. So I think the running joke was that there's more than one of that loco, and you'll always see it. Not on purpose in the game, but it does make appearances. Well, that's one of 49 different nameplates that you'll get on Class 47s.
I think Steve,
sorry.
we've done 3 of the we've got 3 so far.
found a
You
sandcastle
have
yet?
about a minute and a half to find the other 2.
So we've got golf bags and sandcastles. Bear in mind with the sandcastles, they might not be on the platform. Might just be out of the way off the platform.
Yeah, we've generally had them more off stations. It would be a bit bizarre a sandcastle being
don't
on
know
an
where,
actual
don't worry, they
station
are
just on the
just
platform.
Yeah, they're not in the middle of nowhere, so you will find them around the station. Might just be off the platform somewhere, just out of the way. But yeah, there's 20 of each of these collectibles as well, so there's plenty to be finding. Keep you busy.
I'm sure if Steve's not able to find the golf bag in particular, then we'll be able to find it elsewhere.
They are on the other stations. Yeah, you will find them.
Yeah, well, once we get to Ormskirk,
He's done
we can have a
well
little
though.
look as well.
He's done well to find 3 in a short period.
I mean, he certainly traversed most
station.
of the station.
It is a big station to cover in such a short space of time. As well, not just in the daytime, but at night time. So if you, for example, you run it at night and the lovely volumetric fog comes setting in, that really does get you some really nice views. And if you go into your photo mode, you really get some good photos of that. And not only just for that, but a little feature that Ed implemented onto our signals. So the bulb signals, they have a little glow. So they actually cast a glow. So in the fog, you see that the signals casting through the actual fog as well, which I think is only a feature that I think is on Nidatal Barn. So he brought that over for us as well, which is really kind of him. So
Yeah, Ed worked on this whole barn, didn't he?
he did.
Yeah. And Steve, you made it back with I think about half a second to spare, so very well done.
Not bad going there, and to find 3, well done.
That was perfect timing with a couple of the trains to part with whistles as well. I was, people seemed very happy about that as well from the looks of the chat, which is really good.
You know what? If we tried to do that and we tried to make it so that worked time-wise, we wouldn't have been able to. So
Never do
yeah,
it again.
lovely that we were able to make it work completely by accident.
Just as we're leaving Preston as well, so you see on the right hand side there was a 47 which actually has mineral wagons and a brake van, which is a vacuum brake working. So they actually feature on here. So those are the workings that go to the Kirk and tip, which Benedict mentioned earlier in the stream. So
And we have forced their speed to be 35, I think it was, with vacuum fitted brakes.
yes, it is a slower working, so you do trundle. I'm not sure if it actually has your loop. Does that one have your loop in Solwick?
I think it does. Yeah.
Someone mentioned the mail vans. Yeah, there is the mail terminal just at the end of the platform at Preston. So you've got the old mail bridge. That's not there these days. That got knocked down. I'm not sure if it was at sort of 2000s potentially. That went. It could be maybe a little bit before, but yeah, that's there. And all you'll see all the mail vans in there, waiting for do their deliveries. Got the Union, I think South Union sidings as well that Steve's just gone past there. So those are the last of the yards of Preston. So we're now heading towards Farrington Junction, which is only a short section.
They were the ones we didn't think would be electrified, and then we found a random picture of an APT taken there, and we could see that there were wires there. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really, really hard. That was one of the really, really hard parts to find imagery of, because it was very under photographed. It's not somewhere you can obviously access either, so it's mainly anyone that's working on the railways most likely been down there to take pictures. So yeah, that was a great help. Yeah, this is coming to Farrington Junction, which is where we will turn off to the right and head on to the Ormskirk branch. Again, another single line section. So you only have a very short period of the West Coast Main Line on this.
And we will do the other branch a little bit later on in the stream.
Yeah. Yes. I think most bases will be covered this evening, so you'll see as much as everything we can possibly get out to you. But you will see plenty of trains on this section. There's loads of AI for the West Coast Main Line. We've not left them out. Obviously, in an ideal world, you would have an electric loco, but we put them. Well, I say we, Benedict's put them in there as diesel locos, just so that there's still stuff going up and down there.
Yeah, they were divers. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yes.
Nice.
To be honest, though, it's just nice to have them. Then again, as soon if if we ever do see, you know, more suitable locomotive come along, there's nothing saying that I couldn't easily just change it then.
Yeah. Quite a slow junction this as well. Goes down to 20 mile an hour. And I think I'm not sure it goes down to 15 mile an hour in a second. If I'm right.
No, it's just 20, I think.
Or is it 30 to 20? 30 to 20, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 coming off the main line and 20 on that last bit, and then it goes back up to I think 60 mile an hour. This is where the bounce begins. This is where we
Yes.
start seeing bounce.
Make sure we get some external shots,
Ba-
Steve.
basically
We-
get the
we are
seatbelts on.
bouncing.
Get your seatbelts on. It's going to be a little bit of a bumpy ride.
Ives.
Yeah, literally.
That just reminds me of them videos on YouTube of the pacer bouncing around or whatever, and then you've got the interior of them.
Oliver's asked about can we see the 47. We will be using the 47 later on in the stream, so Steve will be demonstrating one of the liveries on that. I think he's going to be the city executive as well. It's a more rarer one to actually see.
One thing I'll say though, because people have been asking about it, and I did notice also in some of the videos, it might be an idea to depart from station exterior view to the next station. That might be a good move, so then people can see the exhaust a bit better and everything.
That sounds good.
I'm just going to quickly touch on the destination. Well, we did mention destination plans before, but I don't think we actually mentioned. But with the destination plans, we have covered all the other routes, so such as West Cornwall local, that has all the announcements in there. Hello Joshua, Littles have just come back. Yeah, so we've got West Cornwall local.
Being interrupted by some little people.
They've all come say hello. You back, are you? Hello. So yeah, Cornwall local, you've got Tees Valley and Northern Trans Pennine. They're all in there, so maybe one day they might actually be able to use them in service mode if they get put in there. They're ready loaded basically.
Nice. Oh, we are seeing that bounce. Yeah, we've got a passenger in there right now. We are going to do a little bit as well of, to finish up the stream stuff, we're going to do a little bit of free roam as well. So if there is any particular route that you would like to see us try the pacer on, very briefly, we're not going to do it for very long, then let us know. We'll have to just double check and see what Steve's got installed to do the stream. But if you've got any requests for where you'd like to see us put the pacer at the end on free roam, then let us know. Tees Valley, yeah, that's the obvious choice. We will probably do a little bit of Tees Valley. But if there's any wilder choices, we'd love to see those too.
I mean, if people love the sound of flange, West Cornwall local, St Ives to St Earth is a perfect one. You literally just hit flange.
London to Brighton would be fun. Nidatar Barn, there's GWE, West Somerset Railway, NTP. There's
Just
quite a few
run it on
requests.
HS1. Pop it on HS1, why not?
I think there was somebody that said they want to put it on the East Coast main line, so that would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be. It won't be
A
bouncing,
Rosa,
but
that would be
it'll
equally fun as well.
Yeah.
LGV, yeah, let's do it. I mean,
See if we get upgrades.
yeah, I mean, this is I guess this is the beauty of having something like free roam where you can just put the pacer on anywhere you want to, give it a go, have a bit of fun with it, even if it's not prototypical. I mean, it's not prototypical, but you can just have a go and see where you get to.
That's it. You're not restricted. You can do, even though it's on certain routes and certain service and that. You can go and make your own scenarios. And you can go and do off the rails and everything that you want to do. You
Yeah.
can take it wherever you want.
Yeah, just while we're on the subject of scenario planner, we might come to scenario planner a little bit later, but I know that Benedict, you were talking about some of how kind of some of the portals and how we've set it up to work with scenario planner.
Yeah, so I've done scenario planner in the style, so you're able to do full scenarios with stuff going in and out of portals and everything, like all of the TSW4 routes do, because East Coast Mainline does that, doesn't it? As I remember.
Yeah, I believe so.
But I've ended up adding an absolute ton of paths So I've done it so like literally, it took me a while, but you can choose to have a train leave platform 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of Blackpool North to both platforms 2, 4, and 8 at Preston, I think it is. And you know, not 2, 4, and 8, 2, 4, and 6 at Preston. And so you literally have every single path pretty much available to you. It's a bit of a mess. It took me absolutely ages. And the worst thing is, I made a typo, and so I had to edit them all.
Would you like to disclose which typo it was?
Wasn't it avoiding I spelled wrong? I think it was. I think I put avoiding.
Yeah, something like that. Did it come back in localization as well?
Yeah, it did. It came back from localization.
That's not even. It's not even an obvious spelling mistake, though, is it? So the little missing I. That's not easy to spot, is it? But I imagine that means that there are many permutations of scenarios that you could possibly make going one platform to the other. So it sounds like there's a lot to have a go with.
We wanted to give you as much possibility and scope as possible, not just limit you to a couple of platforms. We wanted to make sure you could do anything you wanted, as much as we could give you at the end of the day. Also, could you just drop an announcement in, Steve? I've seen a request.
The next station stop is Boston.
I can't hear it, so I'm presuming it's come through.
That went. It went. It was.
Did it go through? I can't hear it.
Our audio is a little bit quieter on here than it is on the stream. So, but I think we got it. Excellent. Who was the voice actor for that, or did we get somebody in the team to do that?
Hello, that was me.
Oh, was it you? Okay, so you basically requested for your own voice then to be played.
Ed did the recordings first, and he asked if we would do some recordings. I think originally the plan was to us all doing it. It would like randomise and pick a voice, but at the minute it's just got me. Whether we can add some more in the future, we might be able to. It's a case of just recording the announcements, send them to Ed, and basically pop them in, however he set them up. But yeah, I went through all the announcements for this, recorded them all separately, and then did them all for West Cornwall, Northern Transpennine and Tees Valley. So they are all there. However, on Tees Valley and Northern Transpennine, they won't work at the moment because they only work in service mode. So should the train ever become usable in service mode, they will be there. So once it's all set up, then it will have these announcements. They are preloaded for that possibility in the future.
Yeah. Okay. So even if actually it's the case of someone actually from a community, you know, because you now have the tools available on PC, if you'd want and create a timetable which utilises the pacer on like Tees Valley, the announcement should work.
Yeah, as long as it's set up in a service, they should do.
And I knew Leica was going to mention this, but they said we'll mod it in, don't worry. I knew Leica was going to do that.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, again, really looking forward to seeing what people do with it as well,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
there are lots of possibilities of different liveries and scenarios, free roam opportunities. So yeah, looking forward to seeing kind of how that fits.
There's a lot of talent out there, so yeah, it'd be great to see what people can put together.
Yeah, Instant Sim after the announcements automator, is it a keyboard shortcut? It is a G.
G on the keyboard. He's found
Sandcastle.
Sandcastle. He's found one. Yeah, so it's G on the keyboard. There's no keybind, I don't think. Did you ever get a response on that, Benedict, off Ed?
I think I forgot to ask. Oh, well, do that now.
You go
as far as we're aware, I don't think there is one.
I was in the middle of writing it, and then I forgot to ask a question and forgot.
But you can also click the phone. So if you're on console, if you click the left side handset, it'll play the announcement. So you don't need to buy a PC, Xbox, PlayStation, so no one's left out.
Sounds a little bit like a sort of buzzing noise, doesn't it? On the outside.
Yeah.
It's got some buzzing noise.
Like a hum, sort of. Like that.
Yeah.
Raspiness from the exhaust. This is the back flag.
You can see the back. You can actually see. I'm a bit behind on the stream, but you can see the bounce when he was sort of on the 3/4 looking forward. You can see the nose nodding up and down. If you watch the gangway, then you'll see the bounce.
I feel like you could go on the roller coaster at the Pleasure Beach, and you probably would have sort of a less like bumpy and sort of thrilling experience than being a passenger in this. Yeah.
Yeah, the Big Dipper's probably more smoother experience.
Yeah.
And the Big Dipper is quite a rough roller coaster.
Been on it, it's a bone shaker, isn't it?
Yeah, I nearly hurt my knees on it. I've got quite long legs, so I banged my knees when it come down on the last bumps, and yeah, it wasn't pleasant.
Is it one of those ones that I can't remember? Is it one of those ones that's still got the bar that comes over your?
Yes,
or is it
it
a
is,
bar
yeah.
over the shoulder, or is it a
It's
bar
sort
over
of-
your lap?
Yeah, they sort of bar over your lap ones. Then,
Yeah, they're the worst for your knees.
it's just had its 100-year anniversary. That roller coaster, well, so they've just refurbished it as well. I think they retracked it.
Oh, we've got Ed in the chat as well. I've
Hello,
just
Ed.
seen Ed's in the chat. Hello, Ed. We mentioned you a couple of times so far.
That's it. Anything we obviously can't get the answer off ourselves. Ed is here, so we'll be able to most likely respond to anyone that has any questions as well. So we're heading towards Rufford, which is the only section on. I say only section. This is where the passing loop is. There is another loop at Ormskirk, but it's out. It's not in use. But Rufford is the crossing point. There is a couple of services in the day where you do find yourself actually meeting with either a unit or the driver training service. There's a driver training service in the timetable, which I think appears in the spring. I think it is. So you could actually find yourself actually passing a loco there as well.
I think the rail tour also.
The rail tour as well.
Yeah, the rail tour also is doing there.
The Preston Docker rail tour, which covers every base of the route.
The next stop is
It goes all over the
Rufford.
place. I think it's at 8 parts in the timetable, so that will keep you busy with the class 20.
Yeah. Rufford also has gates as well, so it took me a while to get them right, but you know, I'm pretty happy with the way they work now. So they do close after trains come in and whatnot. So it might be an idea after you've stopped there, Steve, to have a look behind to see if the gates closed.
It's a 15-mile-an-hour turnout as well. You come into this section, so it's a slow bit.
Yeah.
There's a nice signal box to have a look at as well. This one's not got interior, but there is a box there. You can have a wander around. A couple of little waiting shelters. It's a very small. It's a small station.
We will shortly be
Nice
arriving
little
at
tranquil place,
Rufford.
really. It's got the river and the canal nearby it as well. You do pass the canal shortly after. Crossing over the river, I'm not sure. I can't remember what the name of this river is, but there is a river there. And them gates were quite a challenge to get them working, weren't they, Benedict?
Yeah, in the end I managed to work it out, but yeah, it was a bit of a fun one. Hopefully we'll see them close behind.
I was doing a quick Google to see if I could find the name of the river.
You
It
found
sounds
it?
like Rufford Ford cuts across Rainworth Water.
Alright.
That doesn't sound like a name of a river to me,
No.
but
Rufford Ford. No, I'm not sure. I know we do go over the Lancaster, not Lancaster Canal, sorry, the Leeds Liverpool Canal near Bursker. You do see the Lancaster Canal actually as well. That runs alongside up near Solwick, so there's a couple of different canals, waterways in the vicinity.
a couple of people have asked for 200% head sway. We're not going to do that just in case anyone has we'd have to put a motion sickness warning on the live stream. So, but we'll let you try that at your own leisure, at your own time, maybe with a sick bucket next to your computer or your device.
I'll be awaiting YouTube videos on that. No doubt will be some.
Absolutely. As you can see, it is one bouncy train.
Oh, he gets going.
Train Simulator driver said Rufford Ford is well known for killing cars. It's great YouTube content watching people try to drive through it in floods.
I know where.
Oh,
that,
there we
yeah,
go.
I've
You've seen the gates open now, I think.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Cars. Got a little bit too close to them, I think. Oh well.
Seen a request for a two-tone horn.
It duly obliges.
You've got to do it. Yeah, the Rufford Ford. I know where that is. I've seen the videos on TikTok where tractors and stuff go absolutely storming through this big massive board, and everyone stood right alongside it, getting drenched basically. Now you even see the drive shaft spinning underneath. I don't think you can see that on this, can we, Benedict? Do you know?
What, sorry?
The drive shaft underneath. Basically the mechanics where it spins.
He's just weighing from that side, you just really see it bounce. But no.
Just like watch the lines of the where like the brown chocolate lines on the livery, you see them moving against each other. That's where you can really see the difference in where the pace is at on the bounce. We're heading towards Ormskirk Junction. You'll see as well on the approach in there that there's a bit of old track that sort of curved in off the Wind Southport line, which we cross over, so we actually go over another line. There's an old bit of a curve in there that was left in as well, so back in the steam days there used to be a lot of traffic over this triangle. And the triangle went in both directions as well, so we were just one direction. So you could either go back towards Ormskirk or down to Preston. At the station many years ago, we found a really old photo in the steam days. It was really underground structure. I think it had an old canopy as well, quite a big canopy. These days obviously it's just a one platform. You'll see obviously as we've been driving along down here the remnants that it was obviously a two-track line. That only got lifted I think a year prior to this route was set. Hence why there's a lot of
there's lots of stuff. I was going to comment on that actually, because I didn't know if it was stuff that had been laid out to try and turn it into a two-track, or if it was just been taken up from a
I think there's
two-track.
been talk of them actually trying to redouble the line up, but nothing's ever happened of it. But no, yeah, it was all stuff that was left over when they took the track up, and basically it was getting collected and taken away. So we found evidence in certain areas there was more stuff than other areas. So you will actually notice that in some areas you see a lot more stuff trackside than there is in other parts.
This is Ormskirk Mill, isn't it? Coming up.
Ormskirk Mill, so yeah,
Ormskirk
Mill, this one, yeah. It's quite a big structure alongside with the canal.
It's now houses, isn't it? If I remember.
Yeah, luxury apartments, I believe it is these days.
The next station
It still stands, still there. Some of it's not there these days, but the big main part is still there. It's got use, which is nice to see. It's quite a nice grand old mill. We talk of the mills, there's actually quite a few mills in the Preston areas as well that you will see in the skyline. A bit modern.
So for those people that have come late to the live stream, where have you been? But a couple of little bits and pieces. We're beginning to people ask about things like release dates and prices and all that kind of stuff. This is coming to you next Tuesday, the 14th of November. And price-wise, £29.99, and the equivalent currencies for wherever you are in the world. There's another gingerbread man. Another terrifying gingerbread man. And then, depending on which platform you're on, it will release at slightly different times. So consoles will release at 10 AM, and if you're on PC or Steam or Epic, it will be released at 4 PM GMT. That is. Oliver, got ahead of you with the answer to that question, so hopefully I answered your question.
The next stop is actually the last stop on this line as well, which is Ormskirk. It's an interesting one because it's the start of the Merseyrail as well, so we actually have a split. There's a physical split in the track, but there's also an old loop that's there, so you could actually technically get through to it. Nothing runs on it in the Timetable. I don't think we found no evidence of anything really running through there, so there isn't anything in there as such. But that is literally where the third rail begins, and that will go into Liverpool from there. Obviously, there's no trains on there because obviously, as people will know, there's nothing suitable in the game. Should something ever became available, then again, it could be something that we're laying in. At least you can see some trains in there, but obviously there's nothing there for that. You could probably do something if you're doing your own scenario mode. You could actually put 313. You could probably get down there. There's a blue livery for it. It'll pass the 508 or 507 runs down there.
This
You can do that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just in this. The bouncing is just
It is.
mesmerising, isn't it?
It really does take off, and obviously the faster you get, the more bouncy it gets.
Yeah.
So
So I put in the chat, it's like ripples and like tsunamis, isn't it? It's kind of like you.
it is mad. It's obviously it's a sign obviously to see the things to come with the suspension stuff. Though, this is the first proper that obviously with the 323 into that has the suspension stuff in there. So yeah, it's obviously a sign of things to see in the future with the trains.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we gave an update in the roadmap on Tuesday around suspension and kind of the ongoing project, I guess, because this is again kind of like the next stage of it, where obviously with not having things like air suspension or bogies and whatnot, it's you guys have worked with us to be able to kind of get this into the pacer.
Yeah.
I think we're looking at kind of what we can do to make sure that we will create a system that allows like air suspension bogies to be covered within it as well. So it's a little further out at the moment. The plan is to kind of retroactively refit that onto the standard edition locos that you'll see. So the Talon one, the F125, and the Azuma, as well as anything else that comes out in the time between us releasing sort of suspension and release TSW.
Literally very, very close. I've got two streams open because obviously we've got a little Discord window. I can see Steve doing that, and then look at the other ones like, oh, we're two different places here. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at the actual YouTube on it because obviously this is where everyone else can see. But yeah, we are very much on the approach to Ormskirk. The bar's counting down now on the top of the hood, so we really are at the end of this line. But it really is a bouncing experience on this part. And you've seen the differences that the bounce can throw at you. So we've seen really bouncy track on the Ormskirk, not so bounce on the Blackpool South, and then the more smooth gliding section along between Kirk and Preston. So there is a wide variety of what you will see in that side of the train.
Yeah, and Artful I think speaks for all of us when he says that didn't seem like an hour, it was fun all the way.
It's mad to think
You
it's
just
an
wait
hour.
until you drive it. Honestly, even me testing it, because I was testing it just to make sure something was working the other day, and it is just a lot of fun, to be honest. You've got to be really on your toes with the Ormskirk section though, because the timings are really quite tight, but then it actually is a lot better on the Blackpool South section.
Yeah, you find obviously you might lose a little bit of time, and then you gain time again when you get to like timing points such as Preston or Kirkham, where you might have to wait for something else to pass through. So yeah, keeps you on your toes. It's a wide variety of stuff that you'll see. You can see obviously where we've just stopped, the board in between the two lines. That board, we believe, is to stop the drivers being dazzled by taillights off Merseyrail trains.
Yeah, I didn't realise why it was there in the first place, but
no, I didn't.
It was really quite cool to find that out, because and it does work. Decide to place a train on both sides. You're like, yeah, you can't actually see the headlights from the other train. That's really cool.
Yeah. Was anyone else a little bit concerned that we were getting very close to the barrier? Steve managed to, I think, pull it back just in time.
Trying to encroach onto Merseyrail.
Yeah. Cool. So that's one sort of service down. Do we want to take? Was there anything at Ormskirk we wanted to show, Tom?
Definitely worth having a look around the station.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's because we haven't had a look around the station interior yet, have we? So, well, we had a look at Preston.
We've got the
interesting haircuts.
Yeah, they've got the destination screens as well. You can see that you'll find dotted at certain stations. Not every station because they didn't all have them, but Ormskirk, Preston, Kirkham potentially might have had them as well. I can't
we went with Kirkham, Polton, Ormskirk,
Blackpool,
and Preston and Blackpool.
So you'll find all sorts on there. And I believe, am I right, Benedict? This show at Preston, they'll show stuff for the West Coast Main Line that's going through as well.
Yeah. You'll get a wide variety of destinations. There's even a Stranraer Harbour service and that kind of stuff.
The other cool thing as well, you'll see some run rounds happen at Preston. So stuff like Blackpool to Stranraer obviously has to turn around somewhere to get from Blackpool to go north. So there is loco run rounds that happen there as well. So There's
Some
all
fun
sorts
there.
to see. Oh,
Some
definitely.
people have noticed the vans in the car park as well being very
Mm.
prototypical, which is nice.
Yeah, the vans in there are actually new models to the routes. We've got a variety of different ones. We've got some JT Transport ones in there. We've got our own brand. We've got the Mail Depot. We've got the British Rail one as well. The yellow British Rail van that you see around. There's a couple different ones as well. There's the bigger van, and then the HA van equivalent as well. The smaller little Bedford van or something like that. And they got big tipper wagons and stuff like that as well. So there's a
Cool.
wide bit of new vehicles to be seen.
I did
Nice.
notice someone earlier noticed the bus at Busker Junction. That was in the Preston livery. We have also done buses in the Blackpool livery as well. And
Yes.
so you've actually got prototypical buses. They're Atlanteans, if I remember, aren't they, Tom? We
Yes.
ended up having modelling,
Yes.
and we've done the appropriate liveries as well as appropriate destination blinds on them.
Yeah, they've got destinations for the areas as well, which we've got a few different ones. So they're not all the same. Basically, there's a bit of variety.
Nice. Steve, should we do the Gronk scenario? Let's do a quick review of what the scenarios look like, and then we've got probably about 20 minutes on that one. So we have Blackpool. Do you want to give us a quick summary of? Fine, we'll go on to the thing. In terms of the scenario,
I can give you a quick run through the names of the scenarios.
Yeah, that would be
I've
fun. Yeah,
literally
just while we're loading.
Let me just open the manual so I can cover the names and the briefing on them. So scenarios. So 5 scenarios in the route. One being put a Gronk on it, which is what we're doing. Very apt name. So starting at the top of the list, we've got Blackpool Illumination, which is it's basically a rail tour for taking holidaymakers down to Blackpool in time for the illuminations to begin later in that evening, which was a big thing back in the era. I mean, you still do get occasional tours these days, but not to the extent of what you once did. You got Oiled Up, which is a oil tank working, starts between Preston and goes up to Naze. You've got DMU Debacle, which is a stranded pacer that needs assistance. You go and rescue that and clear the line. Back and Forth is a shuttle style scenario between Preston, Ormskirk and back to Preston in some very challenging weather. So be aware of your brakes on that one. It will catch you out. You may go sliding. And then we've got Put a Gronk on it, which is what Steve is going to demonstrate for us on this next section. So this is replicating a shunt release manoeuvre. Big thing back in these days. So what would happen is a loco service will come into the station. You would then utilise the Class 08, also known as a Gronk or Rods, for the couple of nicknames for the railway terms. You would use this little loco to pull the stock away, basically to allow the Class 47 or 31 or whatever loco brings the train in. So you take the coach stock to the yard. That loco can then pull out, move out of the way, and then basically can back onto the stock and then push it back into the station essentially. There's a little bit of a twist on this scenario. It sort of mimics the timetable. We've had a little bit extra to it just to make it a little bit more fun and more interesting.
I don't think we're not going to run the full scenario. I will just give people an indication because we've not seen that part of
this one, I think. Yeah, I think this one is the full scenario. It's only 20 minutes. It's the Naze section, which is a partial section.
Right.
Because obviously we'll cover some of the section we've already driven on the Ormskirk to Blackpool off to Ormskirk.
It's a very moggy scenario. He loves his Gronks.
It's something that I like doing as well as a bit of shunting around. It's just rather than just flying from A to B, I like a little bit of shunting, a bit of thinking. You've got to make sure your tracks are set, stuff like that. Not just driving. You never know. You might end up going on flying, you know. Or you'll get a tow. Again, you might find the one transparent I want to do show up as well, so there's that variety as well on there, other than the one that the Highland.
Ethereum King asks, what are the orange pipes on the tracks in quite a number of places.
Oh, yes,
See
those
them
are those are they're called poly pipe trunking. So basically, I think they're a bit more of a newer thing to the era. I mean, these days they're widespread everywhere. But basically, what they do is they house cables, so they just basically set them on the track, get the cable where they need to sort of be about basically getting cut and stuff.
You can see other point rodding out of the signal box there as well. It's ridiculous the amount of point rodding you've got out of it.
Yeah, the rods go all over the place, left and right, all around the point work. There's some 7/4 reels and stuff as well.
You can see the Blackpool Tower in the background there as well, can't you?
You can. Towering over. Awful pun. That was a terrible pun, I do apologise. So there's quite this station has. This is one where we decided to give the again with the interiors of the signal box where we sort of been in the scenario. Really, it was somewhere for you to, if you didn't want to go for a drive or ride, it's just somewhere for you just to sit and enjoy trains going about the day. Because you never, again, with this route, you're never going to know what may turn up on the next service because every session in that timetable is going to be different. If you've got all the layers, you never know what loco is going to appear on the front of that train. You can see on the map there's obviously a loco haul train coming. You can tell by the size of it, but what loco that's going to be pulling that, you'll only know until you see it. So every experience is always going to be different, which I think is another good thing to sort of keep it interesting. Also, it's just nice to still sort of like sit in the signal box and watch things go by. Someone's actually asked, does the Gronk, the 08 come with it? Yeah, the Class 08 does come with the route. In fact, some caravans asked that there. That comes in 2 liveries as well. So the livery that you see here, which is the standard crew works blue, also at Preston, that comes with a special liveried Class 08, so it's got some variations on there. It's got a name on the side, it's got the Lancashire Rose painted on, and it's also got white footsteps and I think white buttons as well, and a white roof. So there's some differences between the two. That was their pet loco, as they used to call them. But they really did look after their station pilot locos. And also you'll find the 08s at each station have got the correct number as well. So Blackpool was 468 and it was 744 for Preston. So they always have the correct number. Dion's noticed the new smoke effects that's been put onto the 08 as well. So that is one of the features and changes that you'll find on the Class 08 as well. There's new smoke as well on the Class 47s. Just to add on that.
Is there anything else that, in terms of the 08 or the 47 that have been updated for this particular? Has there been any sound? There were some sound changes as well.
I seem to recall the Mark IIs had some minor sound changes, didn't they? It's more minor stuff with Mark IIs, but
on the list, I can go through the list if anyone would like to hear the list.
Oh, let's go through the list. I love a list.
Well, Steve's going through his business here. So starting off with the Class 47s changes. So we've got added light source for the high intensity lamp. So that is the little square light on the front of the 47s. We've got new smoke effects. So that's the clag that you see when the engines are working hard. We've got an alteration to the timings of the train brake valve, improvements to the air brake distributor and loco brake timings. We've got a fix to the goods timing, so that makes them work. Fixed a couple of animations. Added a stop on brake valve to prevent accidentally bypassing emergency into neutral. We've added air brake sounds. We've got a new brake screech, brake rub, flange. So the flange is the squeal when you're going around bends, tight bends, and also track run sound. And on top of that, some new wiper sounds. You've also got an added subtle light source to the fault lights and the gauge lights in order to basically see them better at night-time driving. Made faults and lights indicate dim, and then normal. So they go dim when it's normal, and then the fault lights will go bright when it's actually like sometimes. So for example, like wheel slip, the light will go brighter, so you see that's happening. We've also got altered how the locomotive loads to aim and start on like low adhesion. So if it's really heavy rain, it's quite slippy. It's all been adjusted to cope better with that. Fix the tail lamp. So there used to be a tail lamp on 47 which actually appeared underneath it. So that's been fixed. So you don't see the flashing tail light underneath the loco. Remove the steam heat control. Could you demonstrate quickly, Steve? Just in the 47, could you go into that cab? So we can actually see this. So on the 47s, on the right hand side of the gauges, you can see that next to where the amps are, the right hand side gauge has now been plated over. So that's was a feature that happened with 47. So that basically gets rid of the gauge for the boiler. On top of that, I think the boiler has also been covered over on the roof as well. Benedict pulled.
Yeah.
On that.
There's a couple of things I did with the roof, but yeah, you know, it's been made into a more conventional dash 4, as opposed to, you know, because you did have some weird variants of dash 4.
I didn't realise how many different variation types were until Ed told us.
Oh yeah, no, there was loads.
So many differences. On top of that, we've also added, because we've got the high intensity lamp, how would you turn it on? We've now got a working switch in the cab, so that's also, you can do that separately, so it's not just a case of just pressing H and everything comes on. You can do the markers and the high intensity separately. We've added covers for the marker lights at one end, and on the last one, fixed the wheel blur issue that came with that. So that's all your class 47 changes. Take a breath. Let's go to the 08. So the class 08, it's not as big of a list, but there is some changes and fixes coming here. So alterations to the brake timings again to bring it closer to reality. Adjusted how the locomotive loads to add further realism. New smoke again, so that's the clag. You see when more power is applied, you see a lot more smoke coming out there. That's been reworked. Adjustments in the lights. The cab's been retextured. And then, as I mentioned before, the two liveries, so you've got the representation of the 08 744 and 98 and then the representation of what our back crew were, which was the standard blue. Onto the stock, this is a very small one, this. So with the Mark 1s and 2s, the colours have been made to match the locomotive more accurately. So it's basically the standard blue throughout. And the TEA tanker, that's had a change. Well, I think it's basically had it's not decrease throughout basically. It's now instead of grey livery sort of transparent, it's actually a black livery. The different liveries on these tankers were related to what they actually carry. I'm not fully sure what each livery represented, but with it being oil and black, that makes sense to me. So yeah, these are black tanker wagons that you'll see around on this route.
Nice. Nice one. Well, it sounds like it's quite a comprehensive list of things. It'd be really good to. I think those are listed on your website, aren't they?
Yeah. So for those, I mean, most people hopefully have seen the development blogs that have been put up every 2 weeks since we announced the route back in. It feels like an absolute eternity ago now. When
did we
Timetable
announce it?
It was at the Timetable before announcement.
It was the Timetable World 4 announcement, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was ages ago. So every 2 weeks from there we will put the blogs out. So if you want to go and have a read, I'm gonna just pop I can't. Can the moderator put a link in for me because it's not letting me do it? Oh no, it isn't. I'm gonna put a link in now. It will come up as Trainsim TV, but that link takes you to the Just Trains development blog. So everything is in there. There's loads of photos. There's every single blog's in there about everything that's coming. If you'd like to have a read of that as well. I think DG have done articles as well. They've put all sorts out there. So everything's been kept in line, so you can find it in both places there. There's all sorts to get your teeth into and have a good read on top there. And also the manual is available.
Yes, we'll link to that at the end.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've got a little link to that at the end. The manual is available to check it out. Just a lot of detail in it. How many pages? About 70-something pages?
77 pages of goodness.
77 pages.
Lots of
Nice.
information. There's a lot of stuff in there. There's a walkthrough on how to drive the route as well. talks about all the areas and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff in there, so that is really is worth a read over the weekend if you find yourself at a loose end.
I just want to say as well, obviously we've done a few pieces of work with different third-party developers. Everyone does things slightly differently, but in terms of like the depth and the content of the developer updates, they're really good. They're concise. They kind of cover the top level information. There's really nice screenshots on them. And obviously there's a couple of sort of walk around videos as well of the Pacer 2 the Just Trains team have done as well, so really recommend that you check out those pages.
Bless him as well, Scott, our PR man. He's been waiting so long to start putting stuff out there, bless him.
Yeah,
we're really happy to start doing that.
Yeah, so we've chatted to Scott a few times, and he's always been championing a bit to get things out.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's definitely he's always waiting and asking. Whereabouts are we here? So we've just stopped, haven't we? Oh, we just dropped the stock off, I believe, haven't we?
Amarillion said, I can confirm Scott has almost looked animated about this. I presume Amarillion is one of the members of the JT team as well.
I think that might be Ed. Is Amarillion Ed?
No, that's Ian, who is part of JT's support.
Oh, that's Ian. Okay, yeah.
Ed is Dominus Eduardus.
Yeah.
British Trainman, the line is coming out on Tuesday. It's Tuesday the 14th.
So if you ever find yourself, you might have something you need some support with, you may well have Amarillion at the end of the support ticket.
Not Ed, Ian.
No, you've got me all the time. Ian at the end of the ticket.
we haven't been live for about an hour and 3/4 nearly at this point, so brain farts are absolutely fine.
Someone's asked, can we couple Pacer to the 150s? At this moment, you can't couple the Pacer to the 150 or the 158. I believe that these would require Skyhook Rivet to make some changes, I believe, to the code of them trains to allow the compatibility of the for the couplers. I'm not too sure if anything anything's planned on that. So just in case of just watching the space really at this moment.
Yeah, no, I don't think anything is planned at the moment. I'm not aware of it anyway.
No,
also worth bearing in mind as well that obviously a lot of this stuff we're at the moment is kind of in its. We've talked about the substitution on West Cornwall local, but for the Pacer for the 150. But for the time being, at least, there aren't any plans to layer on the contents from this route onto any of the older pieces of content within TSW as well. I know that there was a couple of mentions of the Just Trains team, including things like the destinations or things like Tees Valley, if it ever does happen in the future. But in the meantime, you can use it on things like free roam, or you can't use the announcements, the destinations on free roam. It's only available in service mode, but it's there. The functionality there if it does ever happen in the future.
Yeah, that's it. It's future-proof basically for them eventualities.
And in regarding to Gillingham, Gus saying about the Mark II numbering, that should be fixed. When you run around, if we'd be able to have a look at the Mark IIs to just show the numbering, that would be handy. Should be some Mark IIs in the yard, so. We had another question about the 47s. So it seems like the 47s can be used on other routes where 47s are used, can't they, Tom? That's what I've noticed.
I've seen them on Northern Transpennine. So essentially, if you go onto Northern Transpennine, if you have this route, when you go to pick a Class 47, they do actually appear in that list. So, as far as I'm aware, on that route anyway, I'm not sure about any other routes, but Northern Trans Pennine, they definitely do.
DJ Snap Attack asks, the 31 still the original version, not livery compatible. I don't believe it's livery compatible, the 31, as it stands.
I don't think it is.
I don't imagine that would change with this route because it's only layering on anyway.
That was a massive request, actually, talking of the 31, of actually 31 passenger services and making sure that there's a good amount you can drive on. It is a shorter rakes because the last thing you want to be doing is trying to pull like 11 coaches with a 31. You wouldn't get anywhere. But you know, the shorter rakes you really can, which is really good. It's nice driving the 31.
That and the 20 as well. I mean, the 31 and the 20 were quite underused on stuff, so we wanted to again give the 20 somewhere to stretch its legs and again making the belt over. Yeah, that makes sense to be fair as well.
It's just amazing. Obviously, you do this pretty much this entire scenario, and you've got Blackpool Tower in the background, just sort of poking its head up. It's great.
The beauty of that the tower is as well. You can literally see the tower in the game for about 7 miles. You can actually see it from Kirkham. If you're getting at the right sort of when you're going away from Kirkham heading to Blackpool North, it's a long straight going out of there. And if you get the camera in the right position, you can actually see it poking over the top of the trees in the distance. And when you're going over the top of Singleton Bank, Wheaton, it's quite open there. So if you look to the left, you'll see the tower. And at night time as well, you'll still see it because the lights dazzle.
I was going to ask actually about the because we will show Blackpool at night at the end, but I was just going to ask, like, in terms of the night lighting. Obviously, Blackpool is famous for its illuminations, all that jazz. Are the illuminations represented in game, or in terms of the night lighting, how kind of, I guess, lit up is Blackpool?
The illuminations are included only because they are on the promenade and that's well out of the player area. So you don't see them, but you will see the Blackpool Tower, so that does light up at night, that all shines in its glory, so that shines all year round, as it should. But yeah, in terms of illumination, no, because they're too far away from the player area, and it makes sense to try and represent that.
Double Yellow asks, the Scotsman layered onto the route. It is not. The 8F is layered on.
Yeah. Not to say you can't drive the Scotsman, because I definitely have.
just free roam.
Definitely.
The beauty of it.
It's good fun to drive in it as well. It does actually look quite well at home, but because obviously Scotsman in its current modern looking, it wouldn't look right in the Timetable. With the 8F, that was right and fit for this era. And it's actually the right number voice. 8151 that uses that tour as well.
I'm going to nod and say yes without actually knowing myself.
Someone might know what I'm on about.
There's people that have asked for some more action, Steve, if we can have some action. Once you've done.
Considered you were on about Scotsman, there is an 8F rail tour on the route which you get to. There's actually 4 runs you get to do, which 2 of them are light engines for the rail tour, which is nice. So you actually are running tender first, light engine after the rail tour's got to Blackpool North and on the way back, which is really quite nice actually to run that tender first. Big difference.
Yeah, I like the graffiti as well. Let's have some fun there. I saw beans earlier, actually, to be fair. I was going to point it out, but...
Well, that's an in-joke with Callum.
That is definitely an in-joke, yes.
The fact that it's spelled like that implies there's something Heinz related, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Callum is from Wigan.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The beans factory. this whole skyline a little bit at Blackpool looks quite different now, doesn't it, Tom? With quite a few new buildings and everything. Like you've got the massive Sainsbury's on the left now,
Yeah.
haven't you?
Yeah, it's changed massively. I mean, there's the petrol station, that wasteland next to where the station is, where we're going to now. There's a petrol station in there now. There's a bingo hall. There's all sorts. It really has changed. I've just had a message off Jason, who's one of the mods. The class 47 at City with 3 subs on every 47 issue for Gronk.
Nice.
So there's a little bit of inside info.
Yeah, so I assume that even means the one of the Great Western as well. Which is nice.
Few people not fans of Blackpool FC in the chat, unfortunately.
Have we got Preston North End graffiti as well? I seem to remember we do,
We
don't
do.
we, Tom?
We do.
I'd like to think there would be, right?
Preston and Blackpool, definitely you've got to.
Fleetwood weren't really a thing back,
No, I don't think
back
they
in these
were.
days, really, were they? Hence the fact you haven't really got any graffiti of that.
That's the kind of thing that I graffiti into. If I were on the art team, I'd just put football things everywhere, just so that everyone.
we've not left Mark out because he's I think Huddersfield. I think Huddersfield. Or somewhere
I think we have HTFC, don't we? Yeah.
There for Mark up the road or something.
Change to THFC and you're in business.
And to double yellow, we'll only add a Spurs one if they win a trophy.
Well, that's who I support. So I mean,
Oh dear. No, I don't get involved.
Benedict, we can eject you from the stream at any point.
I don't do football. It's just the best way. I can just avoid the politics of football.
That's the fun part.
So basically what's happening now is we're going back over to stable the loco. And we go back to the box for a nice cup of tea.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Awaiting the next job.
I think hopefully what we're seeing so far from the route is obviously there's passenger services, there's a variety of different passenger services, there's also the opportunity to kind of stretch your legs with other kind of other things as well, shunting and all of that sort of, and I think that's quite important for a route to have that kind of variety, so that you've got there's kind of something for everyone, Benedict.
Yeah, it was one of the main reasons we chose the route. Because I can be a bit indecisive about what I want to drive sometimes, and it's nice to just have a route where you've got a bit of everything really, because you've got a good amount of shunting. Not only have you actually got shunting at Blackpool North, but you've also got a ton of shunting of mail coaches and whatnot in the dead of night at Preston, which is really quite fun.
It's quite, particularly you've got volumetric fog on, that's going to be quite an experience.
It's great, yeah. I've it was a case of, because I was doing a timetable before, Callum had put the night lighting in at Preston and everything, and Preston was still being built whilst I was doing the timetable. So I was like, I bet this is gonna look great, but I can't see yet. But
Oh, Thomas Lee's asked how many 08 services are there? How many Gronk services are there?
I think it's 12. 6. I think it's 6 for. It might be. It's either 12 or 8. Let me just double check. But it's the same amount for Preston. It's the same amount for Blackpool. So you've got a good amount of shunting to do. So.
Nice. So Mr. Timelove says, wish it was Tuesday. Oh yes, there was a question I was going to ask earlier actually, and I never got round to it. Dion asked, how long has this route been in the works for? How long have Just Trains been putting this together for? Because, as I say, this is obviously goes back to a long way before we announced it in August. How long kind of has work been going on? I think we announced you were part of the partner program maybe about 18 months ago, something like that.
Yeah, so it's been, you know, because initially it was on and off and whatnot, but mainly for the past like year and a half, it's been our full-time project really.
Yeah, obviously a long time, and you can tell that time has been well spent, I think, so far. Since we've been looking at the route, just again the amount of variety, the level of detail, and all of the kind of nice little touches that you're seeing that just make it feel like it's got that personality, and that a lot of kind of love and care's gone into it. There we go.
I mean, it's funny because the liveries actually for the 47 and the 142 were more late editions. We decided to add them in the end because we wanted to see a bit more variety, and in the end it's really helped. Especially your 47 ones, really, because you do see a lot of 47s, so...
Nice one.
So
Well done, Steve. Sorry, Benedict, I cut you up. Okay, all right, we have one more little timetable service for you to go through, just to see that little bit of the route that we've not seen thus far, the branch, the Naze branch. We're going to do this a little, we're just going to do a little bit of this one, just so you can see this part of the route.
I think we decided, was it intercity livery, because it's quite it's a rare one to spawn. There was only 5 or 6 examples. No, 6 examples, but 5 are named as well.
Yeah, at least dash 4s, yeah.
Yeah. At this point, they were rare. They were just coming in.
Yeah, I think we were going 6F29 was the service.
Off camera, JD slipped into his PJs and got his Horlicks.
Pete, you do not know how much I would love a Horlicks right now. If anybody is listening in the Biggleswade area and would like to drop one round for me, that would be wonderful.
Anyone know what time the 6F1 was? I can't seem to find it.
It's about 12, just after 12 o'clock in the, just after lunchtime. Maybe if you type in Stanlow in the search bar, it should show up.
We'll type in 6 Foxtrot, see if that comes up. Oh no, the intercity can't spawn on it. I entirely forgot that because it's, you know, it's... Yes, right. I do remember that, yes.
Large logo.
Yeah, I literally just had Ed message me that as well, which is exactly why you couldn't see it.
And there was Steve thinking he was going crazy.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking it was around that time, and I was thinking you kept going past it, and I was really confused, thinking, but it is around that time.
That's the one.
Nigel, don't worry, we will see the tower lit up as well. We're going to show Blackpool at night after this as well. Yeah.
Get a named one.
Oh, not this time.
Like a shiny Pokemon, isn't it?
It's like shiny Pokemon. Oh god. I remember when I encountered my first shiny on Pokemon. God.
My little one's just started getting into Pokemon. It's so expensive these days.
Pokemon cards they've become real collectible item, I know that.
The other cool thing with the 47, by the way, it wasn't actually mentioned on the, obviously with the changes, but on top of the actual cab, you see the little bardic lamp above the dash. It's a little addition. You can actually click it and turn it on. So at night time you'll see it shining.
Nice.
There's another one on the right hand side as well, on the second hand side. It's a little addition. It was actually, to be fair, it was actually something that Callum made as an asset to be placed around stations, but it made more sense to have it on the 47. I think make it look just a nice little addition to see as well. Something a little bit different. As you can see here with the tankers, the different livery compared to the heavy freight pack ones, which were more of a grey livery.
Yeah, I think it was a case of Ed was saying that the black ones are more used for stuff like oil and more
Yeah,
heavy liquids.
Tea wagons.
Shop cups of tea.
Yeah.
So you got the
everywhere.
all sorts going on in this terminal. So this is the Naze ICI facility. There's all sorts of stuff here. It's quite a big vast area. A few years prior to when the route was set, there was actually there was a power station as well, which was sort of behind where the train sat. There used to be some cooling towers as well, but these days it's just wasteland. It just shows how over time this place has changed. The big tower that dominates on the right side of the loco, that's been since knocked down. I remember actually watching the demolition of that when it exploded in around 2000. This line, these days, this line actually is not in use. It was last served in 1999. After that, nothing at all ever ran down here again. And since then, when they electrified the Blackpool North route, they actually severed the junction. So they could now take a train down there if they wanted to do so. They'd have to reinstate point work and stuff as well now, which is a shame. But I believe though apparently there is a heritage movement that are trying to get this line up and running to some form. Whether it'll happen or not, I'm not too sure. But there has been stuff ongoing over the years. So nothing's ever happened.
I mean, I guess what this does is it kind of crystallises a moment in time, doesn't it? And it is for those people that kind of remember what this maybe used to be like. And as you can see here, some of these stations are already getting disused. That it gives a really nice
whole.
Yeah, it gives you a nice kind of like snapshot into the past.
Yeah. And all the sort of like the stuff's there, like the steps there, but they've got broken steps, so you can't actually physically. I don't think you can walk up them. You can go so far up them steps, and it'll stop you because the steps are broken. So you can wander so far. We've got another station as well, which we'll see shortly, which is Thornton for Cleveland's. Again, just capturing time really of what once was there. And it still stands there today. The station that actually has been restored. Quite beautifully, to be fair. They've done a nice job of it in the hope that they may one day see some form of a train grace it again. Obviously got some more sidings here as well. The Class 20 rail tour runs to the sidings that we're currently passing as well, so that's sort of as far as it gets down here. Because by the time it runs, I believe the oil train is already up in the other section, so you can't actually, obviously, for the section side of thing, you can't put two trains in the same place, as we all know. So that's as far as the 20 will go. So you get to utilise them sidings a little bit as well. Seeing some requests for the horn and opening of cab windows. James B asked about Preston Docks. So Preston Docks actually isn't featured in the route, simply because there's no physical real way of making a service run to there. But the small section of route that you've got to get there, there's no true real starting point. You would obviously have to have further south to get to there, or east, I think. Also, that we haven't got any suitable rolling stock for that either. So it has been left out of the route.
Just going through Thornton for Cleveland's now. What's really, some of the details which, Margin, one of our modelers, has done for it is actually really nice. You'd have to explore that one by yourself, though, but there's some really nice detail there.
If you go wandering around on there, you'll see through into things and stuff. Got the old signal box here as well.
Yes,
again, it used to be.
That reminds me of a lollipop.
Again, as well, this used to be a double track line, which saw lots of action back in the day when Fleetwood had its connection to the top end where the station once was. That all came out, I think, the station went into the 68 or something like that. Passenger service carried on a little bit further, but the service was cut back a little bit further, and eventually it went. The last bit was left with what you see today. Yeah, it used to be obviously massively used in terms of like fish and stuff. Obviously, we'd be a fishing town. Obviously, all the stuff to and from power stations. Polton as well. We're approaching Polton. There was originally 3 stations at Polton. Today's only 1. There was a lot of track around this area. It's a very busy place.
One of the questions actually that got asked earlier that I didn't ask, but I meant to, was around mastery tile. I think we kind of already touched on the mastery tile itself, but Tom, do you want to give us the lowdown on what the mastery tile is?
Would you like to know what mastery tile is? Is that what are we going for it?
Well, I actually no. You know what? I'll leave it up to you folks. We don't tend to talk about mastery tiles on previous streams because we want people to be able to kind of.
Yeah, I think it should be.
I think it should be for them to find out. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It
Fair
is
enough.
really relevant to the route though. You know, that's what's really nice about
Yeah.
it. That's all I'm gonna say.
It makes sense when you see it.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll leave that as a tantalising teaser
Yeah.
for everybody.
But as the other mastery, we haven't got decals related to Blackpool and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So you know, that kind of.
Tell you that
stuff.
bit.
Yeah, we'll tell you that bit. That's fine.
So where we are at the minute, so a little bit further back when the route curved to the right, that was where one of the original routes continued to the left. You'll see the captain tree line in the game. That was where one of the stations were. I think that was the very first station of Polton. So that went years and years ago. We're approaching, we'll go under a bridge, and then the route used to go to the right as well. You can actually walk, so that people like little areas where you can go off and walk off the beaten track. So to speak, you can actually go for a walk along the old triangle, and there is an old station platform down there. You can walk around, just have a look at. And then you can eventually, if you carry on walking, you'll find yourself back with the line to Blackpool North. So you'll find the railway again. Not sure what the decision was at the end with this, because I know we're not doing the full service here. Was the decision to go to Polton, or were we going to go through to Kirkham with this one, just to show through there?
I think it wasn't it to go to just Polton, or I mean something. I don't know. I seem to think we may have just said end it at Polton.
We've still got we've got a couple of other bits
Yeah,
we
there is
wanted to show.
also that.
So
Yeah.
maybe we'll go to Polton, have a look around the station, and then sort of do the other miscellaneous bits that we've got left for the end.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Simon, yes, it has got volumetry. We can give that maybe show that
Yeah, you might see it,
show
yeah.
the night stuff at Blackpool.
I
The
think
nice
a
thing-
few of our shots on our dev page showing
Yeah.
the volumetric fog off at Preston. I think it looks amazing at Preston myself.
Yeah. It's quite special at night time when you see all the. It really puts another layer of atmosphere into it with all the trains as well. On a cold evening, it really does add a bit more to it. Then again, I'll touch on what we mentioned this before. It wasn't here before, but a little feature with the bulb signals is that they have been given a glow. So if you've got the fog, you'll see the aspect of the signal just slightly piercing through that fog.
That's nice. Yeah, it's nice touch.
I think we'll stop at this signal anyway. So when we'll stop nearby the signal. The station's literally just around the corner.
Yeah, so where are we now? Main line now.
We are, so this is Polton-le-Fylde, which is one of the junctions on the route. So this is where the Blackpool North line come in from the right and you will continue through to Kirkham. So between Blackpool to Polton is about 3 Polton to Kirkham about 5 miles or so, something like that, give or take. Lovely signal box as well. Sat right in between the junction there.
Yeah, I really like that one. Really nice.
What there is very early ones, I think, was it? Was it Kirkham the early one we did? Kirkham might be the early
I
one.
think Kirkham was the first and Polton was the second I did, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason you're waiting.
It's a good photo point. Yeah, I think someone mentioned in the chat. It's a good photo point. It's a nice train spot, I would imagine.
There's so many places that you'll find there's a suitable spot to nip into photo mode. You're lost for choice, honestly. You'll always find somewhere. Which is the
See,
joy
this
of
is a
photo
loading
mode.
screen. This would be a good loading screen, this shot. We're on right now.
Yeah, you do have a good point, to be honest.
Another little thing as well, just to touch upon, if you have the Tees Valley line, you'll obviously have the 101. Now, some of the Pacer services have the 101 sub into them around peak time, so you might actually have a 101 appear instead of the Pacer.
Yeah. But all Pacer services should be drivable either 101. I think Barber went to a 4-car or become 2-car after being 4-car. Just because we were having weird issues with the 101 and Pacer trying to work with each other.
Yeah.
And they don't even have compatible couplers, so...
Steve, should we go for a little wander? Bearing in mind we're stopping at Fulton anyway. Should we go for a little walk? Should we? I mean, I know it's not the done thing to do, but do you want to? Should we go for a little walk and see, have a look around, and then we can just leave the train here and move on to the next thing?
You'll see all the difference, all the point rodding again.
Yeah, someone I know is actually from Polton. It was funny trying to keep this whole thing a secret from them. As soon as it announced, it was just like, as soon as it was announced, it was like, send them instantly, but like, hey, I've made you local.
This technically is my more local station. I mean, this is the closest station to me, as well. It's nice to see it in.
I see a
There's
gingerbread
little
man
gingerbread man.
and some golf clubs.
It's
Because the golf club,
found,
what I was saying about earlier was that there's cat on the golf clubs.
Yes.
Is that?
I'm not sure if that it might be a little bit of a nod to the Cat's Biscuits, to be fair.
That's
yeah,
what I,
it was
that's
made
what
by
I
made by
refer back
Margin.
to.
They were both made
Yeah.
by Margin, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You can also go up the stairs up to the like the ticket window as well.
Yeah, and then you've got Desto board there.
Wander
I think
outside.
as well you can actually wander down to the side of the track as well, where the at the left bit here onto the old sort of cattle. I believe it was used for cattle back in many years ago. That little platform, Polton was many years ago was I think a farmer's market area, so they used to use that platform for getting cattle onto the trains many years ago, steam era. They use it these days for basically a car park.
Steve is nailing this timing, by the way.
Still
Back with 3 seconds to spare.
He's done this. I think he's had a good practice run of this.
Practice for a run or 4, I would say. Okay, so we said that what we would want to do some night shots of Blackpool North.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we want to finish the service here, Steve, and then head to a couple of Blackpool North shots in the evening. We can sort of do a couple of wrap-up bits before we get to the end.
Might be an idea to actually spawn at Leighton to see the night of Blackpool North, and then just, you know, spawn a train and drive into Blackpool North.
Yeah.
That might be an idea.
That'd be cool.
We could utilise different one of the sound sets or another livery
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, that would be a good idea. Yeah.
Cool. Let's do that then.
Yeah. Especially at night, you'll be able to see approach Blackpool Tower in the night, which would be nice.
Yes. If you like what you've seen so far, by the way, everyone, you can wish this on Steam at the moment, and it will be obviously available for everybody on Tuesday, the 14th. So we've got the challenge here of like, we'd love to be able to show you volumetric fog, but also we want to show you distant scenery. So we want to show the distant scenery probably more than the fog at the moment.
Go with Leighton, by the way, Steve, rather than Kirkham and Resham. So not part on this one afterwards. There we go. Beautiful.
Here we go.
Yeah, so I think
Shall we
We
get
covered
one
before,
with the
didn't we, so-
TL11 sounds
Yeah,
spawned?
definitely.
Which direction
Yeah.
is Blackpool?
The direction you're facing now. Hi.
yeah,
Free roam, here we come.
Oh god, as you've got everything installed.
Let's get the zoomer on here.
so we
so
want
the-
1985, one to the left. There we
Yeah.
go. Yeah, so
Yeah,
either
go with
orange
orange as
or
well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, go for that way.
And this is a good way of showing off the getting in as well.
Yeah, so anyone that missed it the first time round. So you got to obviously unlock the door panel on the outside first, and obviously Steve then put a key into the back of the cab. So that activates the panel above. You then open the panel above, shut the doors, close the hatch, lock it all back up, and then you're good to go. So the lever there was activating the AWS, master keys in, and then reverser into forward. Tail lights and markers and headlight there. We've only got one setting. Back in the 1986 era, they didn't have day or night configuration. It was just one setting, which is headlights.
Cool. Would you want to set your route, Steve?
Oh yes, it'll go through a signal. You'll be spat back out.
Excellent. Train simulator driver asks, can you change sound sets on the fly?
No, not on the fly. You'd have to go back to. Well, you could do if you wanted to swap and spawn a new one in. Not on the take that you're driving.
Can't you?
Yeah, you can take one out.
And add new ones,
Yeah.
I guess.
You couldn't change the sound set on that one you were driving that on the go. You have to either stop, take the train off, put a new one in, or go back to main menu and start another service with a different set.
I think annoyingly the angle of the trees and stuff is just blocking the view. There's a tower.
Oh, there you go. You can see it.
Be a bit more visible from further away. I wouldn't be surprised just because of the way the trees are. You can see that bit lit up really nicely there.
What rewards are in the mastery? So you do get decals for the level 1, but level 2, we're not going to tell you what that is. We're going to leave that one as a little surprise. The only little teaser to it we'll put is it makes sense. It's the best I can go with.
Yeah. Some people
does
have
make sense.
another thing I will say is some people have alluded to it as well, but
Yeah.
not necessarily being a mastery town. That's what I'm going to say as well. What Steve passed just there, if anyone noticed, that 30 board which was lit up, is the only board-ish board on the entire route. We randomly saw it when we were looking at full research at Leighton, didn't we, Tom? It's
Yeah,
a
we
really
did.
weird board. It's just a little board with just saying 30, with this 30
Yeah.
restriction there.
Got the little
Oh,
light
there we
over
go.
the
There's
top.
a better view.
That scene is just Blackpool. It's just Blackpool. Wherever you look, and everyone looks for the tower. As soon as you find the tower, you know you're there. Or a pylon. But everyone usually would look for the tower.
Yeah, we actually had a test to take a really amazing shot here with photo mode, didn't we, Tom?
Yeah.
With some little bit of volumetric fog at night, and it looked ridiculously good.
As soon as photo mode was announced, for me, with this, I think I've probably used it on this route the most, to be fair, because there's just so many different things you can do. And I mean,
that's a good shot. That's a great shot there. Just even.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the pictures that we've taken for the devlogs have all been done in photo mode. We do some nice things with them as well. Like just an angle, pan around, view rotation and stuff. Yeah. You'll struggle to find somewhere you can't take a picture.
Cool. So we are pretty much at Blackpool, Blackpool North. This is what it looks like, obviously, at night. You see the tower in the background. Just trying to think what else we said we would do in terms of our little miscellaneous stuff at the end. We were going to do a little bit of. Oh yes, there were a couple of requests for West Cornwall local to see the pacer on there. If we can do that.
Should we spawn the other sound set as well? I know some people have been asking to have a Cummins again, but then again, will we have time to show that again as well, or?
Oh,
We've already shown it, yeah.
I would say if people want to see the Cummins, we did pretty long section with the Cummins. People can watch it back on the VOD if they want to.
Okay. Yeah, because we drove it all the way from Blackpool South all the
Yeah.
way to Ormskirk, so yeah.
Yeah, so if you missed it, basically the first hour of the stream, we covered that sort of engine variant. So if you want to watch that, then please feel free.
Oh, you don't need to.
Yeah, if you go on
I would say,
Timetable.
no, don't free roam there. I would actually say service mode, because then we can show that the announcements work on it as well. Yeah, because you can use the 142 on there. And it will be the 89 to 96 one. Might be a bit further down. There we go, thank you.
I'm so glad we're doing St Ives. It's my favourite place in the UK.
Oh no, I went there last May. Lovely. Weather was awful, but it was still lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was went
Rained a
down
lot,
to
didn't it?
Cornwall. Oh, it was awful weather the entire week I was down there, and then we got a heat wave just after. It was like, yeah, just typical.
Of course.
I actually haven't heard the announcements for what I did on this one yet. I'm just going to put the volume up a little bit.
This is literally just flange, by the way. When I drove it on this route, it is just flange.
What's wrong with that?
One of the reasons they got rid of them from these routes, so because of the fact that they were just, they just had huge issues. Yeah.
Also, just a quick one on the announcement side of things. You won't be able to use the announcements if the doors are open. They'll only work when the doors are shut for the next station.
Stayed in Carbis Bay a couple of times as well. Lovely little place. There's Minster Beach.
No, because I stayed in Loo when I was in Cornwall. Lovely place.
You could drop us an announcement, Steve.
The next station stop is Carbis Bay.
Oh,
Excellent.
there we go.
Excellent.
Yeah, the thing is though, even though we have added other desto boards which are suitable for routes, both for West Cornwall local, Leeds Manchester, so Northern Transpennine and Keys Valley.
Yes. You said that they only work in service mode, right?
Yeah, service mode, so
they're not available on those timetables at this point.
No, yeah, so at the minute you wouldn't have the announcements on Northern Transpennine or Tees Valley. They would actually have to be put onto the timetable for that time.
And Morgan, this is the other engine type. This is the other one which we're now driving. to show it off. This
This is
is the
Dylan.
TL11s, but with a newer voice gearbox. So it only has the 2 gears and has front and drive at the end.
That would have a lot of flange squeal.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, even the novice in Ives branch is just flange squeal. Just going along at 60 miles an hour, just getting loads of flange squeal.
I'm not sure there's ever been a live stream that we've done which has had the word flange said as many times, and I'm here for it.
I don't think it's wrong on the Desto board, by the way, Andy Ralph, regarding Morecambe. But we'll have to have a look. Because I'm sure I remember fixing the typo of Morecambe on the Desto board, but I don't know if it was changed on the actual rollerboard animation.
So what we'll do then is we'll come into Carbis Bay, and then was there anything else you folks wanted to show off? I know we mentioned scenario plan. I think we've kind of covered scenario planner and some of the various.
Just quick.
Might be an idea just to go through some of the circuit breakers and show that, some of them work, like, the door one works and that kind of stuff. Something to do with braking and traction work as well, which is really nice.
Yeah, we can do that here if you want to bring it forward to the stage, just show a few of them. The other one I was going to say was just quickly showing that intercity livery on the 47.
Yep.
So we can show it briefly.
So we'll do circuit breakers, and then we'll do the intercity.
I think we're definitely well truly covered many aspects.
Yeah, I think Ed's right the way about the amount of times we've said bounciness or bounce.
I'll get a thesaurus out. Boinginess.
Get a bingo card for it.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark is in the chat. So Mark Walker, who's other scenery developer for us at JT, he's just popped up in the chat. So Intercity 47 at Foggy Preston at night. I presume that will be just to show that quickly. I think that'll
Yep.
be nice to time.
Yeah, so you can turn off, like, for example, if you turn off the lights, which ones are lights? There was a specific one for lights. I think it was on the top panel. Main lighting. I think that's it. There we go. And you can see the cab lights now gone off. And that one hasn't. But yes, them lights because the doors are open. Yes. But if you then would have a look after you've turned off some of the lights regarding the cab front, and you'll see that they don't work.
They're just putting there so the lights dim down, they're going into an emergency level.
And then let me guess, if you turn off emergency light, that turns it all off. Yeah, so let's flick them both off and see.
Can pace
Bingo!
a couple.
Nice. There we go. That shows up purpley, then, doesn't it?
Nico's asked can pace a couple to wagons. It can't, fortunately.
Pace a couple to wagons. Just because it's on wagon bogies doesn't mean it's a wagon. Yeah. So, shall we go over to Preston?
Let's go to
Foggy
let's go to
Preston.
Foggy
Freero,
Preston with a 47.
Foggy
in
Preston
the
with an Intercity 47.
BDL, can the pace a couple to the 158? At the moment, it can't. It would rely on Skyhook to implement a fix for it to be compatible. At the moment, I believe there's no plans on that, but the case of just waiting and at some point maybe. Who knows? I don't know. I couldn't say.
Yeah, there's nothing on the roadmap currently that would indicate that work is being done. So
It's out of our hands.
Yeah, shall we go nighttime foggy?
Yeah,
So,
night time for this one.
yeah. Oh.
Oh.
Hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'll have to note that one down. It's annoying because you'll always, when you have like 500 services, you know, you'll always end up most likely finding one that's gonna end up being broke. There's a there's a first thing.
That's tomorrow morning's job.
Yeah, that will be a look at. Yeah.
What we'll say is at this stage, it's unlikely that will change before release, right?
No,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right there. Yeah, so it'll be
It'll be a post-release.
post-release. That, yeah.
Just for complete transparency, everybody. I think there's enough for everybody else to be getting on with, though, in the meantime.
It happens. I have a feeling I know what it is as well. There we go.
There we go. Oh, it looks like something.
So you see the
outside
lights,
hill, doesn't it?
then you see the fault lights on the dash. So if you take the cab lighting off a second, you can see the glow on all the instruments, like the horn and the driver, the loco brake as well. So those are in dim position at the minute, but obviously if a fault or wheel slip or anything happens like that, they'll go brighter.
I've selected the wrong loco, I'll jump out and come back in.
Right.
That's all right.
You could see the fog though coming in, couldn't you? You could see
Yeah.
the.
One of the things, to be fair, actually with the fog was that we found that when Callum was going to do the light bake on the station, that it lost the volumetric fog, which we were looking at photos and we actually needed that volumetric fog to appear in the station because the station actually got foggy inside on the pictures what we found. So the station didn't get the light bake because we would have lost that effect. But some parts of the station have got they did get an AO bake, so an ambient occlusion bake. So in the bakehouse side, it's underneath the bridge. It's all dark and dingy in there and stuff. But otherwise, we'd have lost that true atmospheric feel in a winter, cold, foggy scene.
There we go.
Oh, we've got an 80 as well.
Night mail.
5 names, I need to see. Again, this is it's quite a rare one to find on the timetable up here. It does appear. If you're lucky, you've got to be very lucky.
See a golf club in pickups, Steve, last time. Going through Preston station.
If you come to the front of the loco and go on the other platform, you see the highlight intensity lamp casting off through the fog. And then if you want to look into the signals, if you sort of get a side-on view of the signals as well, you'll see the glow off them in the fog. If you see these on the gantry, if you get it just right, you should see a little bit. You see just a sort of little bit of light piercing through. Yeah. That again, that was one thing that Ed pointed for us.
Yeah, Ed helped a lot with the route, didn't he?
Oh, massively, massively. We owe him a lot. And everybody else, everyone else has been a part of the project, helping out and giving assistance. We wouldn't be where we were without all the help of everyone else.
Yeah, it sounds like it's been a real kind of team effort, and everyone's
massively.
collaborated together. And as I say, it's that the knowledge that you two have brought. I mean, just even the two of you have been pretty encyclopedic of the route and how it all pans together. So really amazing work from you guys. It's, I think I speak for all of us who are kind of seeing this for the first time. I'm seeing this for the first time as well. At least I think don't know if we wanted to go. Is there anything else we wanted to show? I think are we happy with?
Just have a quick look through the little document that you made. I honestly think on that side of things, everything's been pretty much shown and covered.
Yeah, I
Like
think we've
anything
covered
about Benedict.
everything. Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. Well, what we'll do then is we will call it nightfall to flat on the station. Won't worry about going back onto to base camps. We'll just kind of leave ourselves talking away whilst we have the 47 in the background. Thank you everybody for watching at home. Hope you enjoyed that. It is obviously out on Tuesday the 14th, so next Tuesday. If you like what you've seen tonight, you can wish list it on Steam. Not on other platforms just yet. We are looking at releasing at 10 o'clock on consoles and 4 PM on PC. That is GMT times, whatever time that is where you are in the world. And pricing wise, £29.99, €35.99, $39.99. A couple of other little bits about before we finish. I'll just reiterate again: if you are an Xbox player, you'll be able to play the free weekend on Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate players. So if you want to give it a go, not try tracing before yet, you can do so for free this weekend on Xbox. There's also a PS Plus free trial as well. If you've not given it a go yet for a couple of hours, you get to play and see what it's all about before you buy it essentially. And also, obviously, that gives you then access to be able to get the Blackpool branches route as well, which I think, by the sounds of it, to the chat, everyone's going to do. So that's great. I wanted to give a really, really big thank you to Tom and Benedict for giving up their time tonight to come on and talk about the route, give it all the detail. I mean, again, I've learned a lot over the course of the last couple of hours. So thank you very much, guys. I'll say thank you individually. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, thank you for having us.
No, it's been great. It's been great as well to actually be able to talk publicly to people about it for so long. Obviously, we've had the dev blog, but we've not been able to talk to the public about it and answer questions properly about it. So it's been nice to do that. Just to see everyone's reaction, just the comments towards it. I know other people in the team that are part of our team are in there watching. I can only say for them as well. I think it means the world to us. It really does to see all that. So yeah, thank you.
Amazing. And you're actually going to be streaming this time, aren't you, on Monday?
Yes. So Just Trains will be doing it on our Just Trains TV channel. So we'll have all the details. So we'll have all that on our Facebook page, and it's going to be sent over as well to JD and the team. So it'll be relayed across to anyone who wants to see a bit more before the release. So do come and join us.
Yeah, we'll be plugging that into the Ralph Hunt TV schedule that will be going live tomorrow. I've just shared a link as well in the chat to the manual if anybody wants a little bit of bedtime reading before the weekend and before you're able to play it yourself. It will hopefully give you everything you need to know to be able to come into this with a running start on Tuesday. So thank you very much everybody for listening. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for Steve for driving
Cheers,
over
Steve.
the course of the live stream as well, and thank you for hosting as well. Yeah, Tuesday, put it in the diaries everybody. We're really, really excited. We hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and we will see you again very soon. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.